No.
Welcome to Rhinos and Aliens.
Okay, so basically, he gets paid to paint this house. The person who's paying him buys all the paint and everything like that, and he already has all the tools. So he just basically, they buy the paint, he paints the house, right?
Okay.
He got like $6,000 or $7,000 for painting the house.
Okay.
The person he paid to paint the house, who was under the table, he only paid him like $1,000
So he made $5,000 profit.
doing nothing. When I tell you, that's why that person, I know how he operates. But the thing is,
Oh, bro, I know how he operates too, because one of the installs, the lead fucked up and said the price out loud, and I overheard. Okay, just put this in perspective. While I was working, he had 2 crews, by the way, as well. So on average, we would do 2 installs.
yeah,
While the other crew would do 3 on average. Our one install for that day, which was not, let's say it was an average install. It wasn't small. It wasn't one of the big ones. Average. The price was over $6,000. Over $6,000. This is also not including the fact that he gets his material for 1/10 the price of what the average person does, because he gets it directly from the source. And by the way, remember how much I was getting paid?
Yeah.
The leads don't get paid more than $25 an hour. And it took us 6 hours.
yep. So he probably.
So
How much is a crew? How much people work in a crew?
there's only 2 people in a crew.
So what? 3 people got paid, right? Basically.
Well, you have to include the workers. He has about 6 people in the shop, and then he has 2 up front.
Okay.
So let's just for easy math, he has 20 total workers.
Okay.
20 total workers. By the way, that was only one of 5 installs for that day, all crews together.
See? And that's the thing is, and there are certain people like that who still cheat their workers. But the person I know, so for instance, the guy who painted the house,
Yeah.
he needed a job. He paid him
Yeah.
that money. He could have done it himself. He obviously could have done it himself. But he delegated. He's like, hey, if you need the money.
What is your time worth to you?
Yeah, if you need the money. It was like 8 hours. He still made $1,000 in 8 hours.
Wait, it was
It was
what
it
type
was-
of paint job?
It was painting the outside of the house, like the siding, and it was all spray. It
Wait,
took him-
somebody gave him $6,000 for that? Bro, I would do that every single time.
Yeah,
As long as there's nobody watching.
and the thing is, because he does what he does, he's qualified as a painter,
Yeah.
and
That's the only way to get the job.
and painters make really good money. So you have to pay them what they're worth. And then he delegated it to somebody else because he's like, hey, if you need a job, I got a job.
And everybody made out.
Yeah. So he wins. That person wins. Everybody wins.
And I'm assuming the guy who made $1,000, it was under the table, right? So tax free.
Yeah.
Bro, honestly speaking though, even if it took the dude 40 hours to do that paint job, you made $1,000 in 40 hours. Tax free.
Yeah, I know. I'm telling you, bro, there's a lot of money. Like, I'll say and say this on this is no problem. Adrian,
Yeah.
he was working for the painting place. Dude, the highwaymen there, they're called highwaymen for some reason. If you're painting on like a bridge, dude, they make like upwards of like $80 an hour.
Well, welders is a good thing too. Like when you get your full
Oh,
certification.
welding? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can, like, the thing is, I'm going to be honest, painting doesn't seem that hard.
Well, now to be honest, welders is a much harder job than painting. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
I would say that as well.
Whenever, like anything in that group,
Yeah. Like, yeah, for some reason, it just skyrockets.
electricians, professional plumbers.
Skyrocket. Which, I mean, I appreciate because somebody's got to do the job. I would love to be an electrician.
Yeah.
Just the handy set. You know what I mean? Just to have that
But bro,
knowledge alone.
to paint houses is different from painting bridges, you know? Like
I know.
to paint, honestly speaking, if you get just $3,000 for painting a house and you could do it in a week,
Yeah.
you know how much money you're making? And if you're doing it
And you have them buy the paint.
so you're not even paying for supplies.
Yeah. Exactly. As long as you got tools. Adrian was telling me that he was working with one guy who, on average, yearly, he would rack in an extra $100,000 just by painting houses. Like,
On the side.
yeah,
Well, with what you told me, that makes sense, right? If you're charging $4 or $5 and it takes you 8-10 hours, especially because the spray paint is what made it so quick.
yeah. Oh my God, dude, it's so quick. I've seen someone do it, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
But even if it was by hand, he would have been able to do that in 24, 25 hours still.
Yeah, because the thing is, it's prime everything, paint it, wait for it to dry, paint it again.
Yeah.
Wait for it to dry, paint it again. Because
Yeah.
bare minimum, you do 3 coats.
Yeah.
Bare minimum
For exterior work.
Yeah. So, and then and then the finish. So, hey, if you got the hustle, go right ahead and do it. I appreciate it.
But
Wish somebody gave me the hustle.
But the point of the story is that when you're making so much profit, don't be a scumbag.
To your workers. Listen, we all know every job, no matter what job it is, the people who are at the bottom are why you make your money.
Yeah.
Because if nobody's willing to work at the bottom,
It doesn't matter what thoughts you have.
yeah,
You can't put them
nobody's
into
willing
action.
to put it in action. Exactly. And I understand. Okay, if you're willing to work at the bottom, but then if you've worked from the bottom, why would you treat your workers worse than what you had off? You know what I mean?
Well, the thing is, let's say hypothetically speaking, you're paying let's say you're paying the average worker $15, and for a certain reason you're paying another worker $12. Taking the $12 away, the average worker you're paying $15, and your profit is already 50+% for every job you do. Like the profit right off the bat is 50%. Why are you going to be such a cheapskate to not pay this dude $500 that you owe? Like all the work he put in, especially when it's 40+ hours.
Look at me. Listen, I'll straight up say it. If I needed work done and I, had to pay people under the table to get it done, or, just because it was easier, whatever happened, you have to realize that those people still came to work for you. And depending on, now this also depends, this will show you what kind of person you are, though. Like, if you're a person, and I don't care if you're a male, female, whatever.
A human being.
A human being who does not pay a debt that you are owed. So if somebody does something for you and you don't pay it back, but if somebody works for you and you do not pay them back, you are scum. You are the definition of scum. Then what's to stop the next job you take? Somebody's like, oh yeah, here's this, I want this countertop, I want this new fridge. I want you to build me a fridge. I'm gonna pay you $10,000. All right, you build him a whole new fridge. Oh, thanks for the fridge, and you don't get paid shit.
And then he comes up with the excuse because it took you too long, or
My thing is, it doesn't matter. I did the job you wanted me to do.
no. But what I'm trying to say is, those are the type of people. It doesn't. If you, for whatever reason, pissed them off, even though you fully completed the job and did it well, they're going to make up any excuse they want to feed that situation.
And those are the people that are scum. Like I said, even if I don't like you, if you did what you came here to do,
But bro, you don't have to. This is a job. It's a workplace.
yeah, you don't have to like somebody. I said the same thing. The person I used to work with at my one job, I didn't like him. He wasn't that fun. But guess what? He came into work. He did his fucking job. As long as you do your job at work, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care what you do. Because when the time comes for you to do your job, you do your job. We're good to go. That's all I care about. But that's the thing. You have to come in and do your job. But that's what gets you the respect. Like I said, you don't have to like them. You don't have to be best friends with them. You don't even have to be regular friends with them. It just...
What we always go back down to, it's principle.
Yeah.
It comes down to principle.
Yeah.
If you're paying somebody under the table and you make a clean, easy agreement, this is how it's going to go.
And you don't honor it, then that just shows you that you're scum.
Yeah.
So, you know who you are watching this. If you do that, I will say it. You are scum. I don't care what you... To me, because that's one of the biggest things. Like, no matter who you are, what you are, your word is who you are. Like, if the minute you break your word, then everything you could have told me is a lie.
But for what we're discussing specifically, I would say it's even more than that. It's the double whammy. Not only did they break their word, they also came up with excuses that were straight bullshit. It's like, for example, let's say we had what we used to talk about. We had a date or a meeting, right?
Okay, yeah.
To go somewhere. It's one thing to cancel last second and just say, "Hey, bro, I'm sorry, something came up."
Yeah.
It's a completely another story when you say that and then you feed them some bullshit that the other person knows
is fake.
is bullshit. Because now not only did you break your word, you think I'm a dumbass in the process, and you're trying to make me feel bad.
Yeah.
That's where the true scumminess comes in, from my opinion.
But as soon as you break your word to me, you're a scum. Like there are thing is though, there are emergencies, there are existential reasons as to why a word can be broken, and that's okay. Oh, hey man, I know we were supposed to go out, but my cousin died or something like that. Okay, that's a pretty big fucking thing, you know.
Or they don't even have to say that. They could say, "Hey, bro, something came up. I'll tell you later."
Exactly.
But
they don't have to even go into description. But as long as you like straight up be honest with me, be like, "Oh, hey, I know we were supposed to go do this, but I really can't make it. Not feeling good. You know what I mean? Like I'm just not can't do it. Can't do it. Okay, I understand. But it's like, oh man, I can't make it. There was a peacock in front of my fucking street, and he was going crazy. I didn't want to leave the house. Like, what the fuck do you mean, bruh? Like,
first off, that shouldn't have stopped you, and secondly, that's probably a bullshit lie.
yeah, exactly. So it's just like, to me, I don't like people when they break their word. Because like I said, to me, you can say as much as you want. The moment you break your word, I don't like everything you could have told me before could have been fake, or the next thing that's coming out of your mouth could be a lie.
Well, the problem is, at least with the person I'm talking about, I actually respected them because they were Polish background, the whole immigrant lifestyle. It's like, okay.
Yeah, because that person should be. I understand. I get what you're saying now.
But once you do that, it's almost like a woman who got beaten in her past relationship, and now she's the abuser in her next relationship. Like, whoa!
It comes around the fact is because somebody did it to them, it's okay for them to do it to somebody else, which is never okay.
But that makes it even worse.
Yeah, I know. It's not an okay fact. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was talking about, where when somebody starts, like, if they have this big company and they started at the bottom, like,
which
you know what it's like to start
did.
at the bottom, and then you go ahead and when you're on top, you treat your bottom workers like shit. But that's what made you who you are.
Or you treat your bottom workers just like the competition used to when you were coming up.
Yeah, why would you do that? I always said, like, if I ever had my own business or anything like that, like, minimum wage is what right now? Like,
in Buffalo, it's
like 12 something, right?
Oh, it went up again? I knew it was 11 something.
Is it 11 something?
Yeah.
I know minimum wage for fast food is $13.75.
Well, I know all other minimum wage is 11 something last time I checked.
Yeah, not for fast food. But my whole point is, so it's $13.75 for fast food. If I had a restaurant, whatever I want to call it, I'd at least make my minimum wage like 15, 16 bucks an hour. Because I know that federal minimum wage or state minimum wage is not enough. It's just not. I know because I've been there.
As long as you're producing enough money to...
So I'm losing, let's say, $1. So an average worker works 40, so full-time. So if I had 20 full-time workers, right?
50 times
so
20.
I'm losing $40 a week for one of them. So I'm losing $800 a week.
Yeah.
But it's way better on them than it is on me. You know, I'm sitting here making, $90,000, $100,000 a year.
If you have a successful business, then you're easily...
Yeah. What is $800 to me? I'm getting a check that says, oh yeah, you made $6,000 this week, while they're getting a check where they barely making $400 or $500. Like, that's not fucking right, yo. I mean, it is what it is because you started the business, but
But bro, I always hate when people use that for a reason why the CEOs or the co-founders make so much of the money. Okay, yes, Jeff Bezos invented Amazon.
Yeah.
Yes, he should make a good portion of the profit, but are you telling me he should make, what was the number? It was like 10,000 times the base worker?
I don't even know. But that's a fucking lot.
10,000 times the base worker. Does that make sense to you, bro?
No.
What, like, it gets to the point how much money, like, for example, when your company is legit bare minimum making $100K every week, you can't pay one of your off the book workers $500?
Nope. That's what I'm saying, bro. I don't like that type of people, man. If you're so clearly, like I said,
you're a hypocrite.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a hypocrite. And the funny part too, he used to always preach about his immigrant status and how he came from the hard-working Poland and blah blah blah. So you should understand what a hard day's labor is worth.
Yeah. and then not pay that person what it's worth.
Especially with no breaks, one lunch,
Yeah, I know.
overtime.
Yeah, it's pure bullshit.
Yo, we were saying something about vaccines, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand what vaccines actually are.
Yes, Okay, before we get into this, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Rhinos and Aliens. This is the 105th episode of the Rhinos and Aliens show. X is not here due to scheduling issues. And Daniel is not here also for scheduling issues. He officially started his 90 straight days at GM. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Gets benefits now?
No, he is still technically a temp.
Really?
Yeah, they have a long process, bro.
What is their process?
Is at least a year.
Fuck. Okay. I mean, the GM's a great company, though.
Bro, once he's in, he's gonna be.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he's gonna be set.
Yeah. You just got to make it.
Yeah, they really test you. And bro, when I heard the 90 days, I'm like, bro.
So what does 90 days mean?
He has to work 90 straight days, 3 straight months. Bro.
Hold on.
I don't know. How is that legal? That's what I said.
You mean like no days off?
I mean, he works a regular shift Monday through Friday with the option to pick up 4 extra hours any one of those shifts, and then he has to work 4 hours to 6 hours Saturday and Sunday.
So he has to technically work every day of the week
Yeah.
for 90 days.
Yes.
What does he get from it?
It's a mandate for that factory because of Corona. They're so backed up. I don't know.
They better give him a fucking full-time spot after that.
Bro, when he told me, so I said, what, for 90 straight days you have to produce? Or I
thought you meant like he can't miss a day in 90 days. That makes more sense.
Bro, I thought of everything besides what it ended
Actually,
up.
90 days?
Yeah.
I would say fuck that. I once worked 14 days straight and I almost quit. 14 days straight at a job just is terrible. You got no rest.
Bro, not even that. It's not like your job, like even if it was 15 minutes away, let alone 5 minutes away, his job is 30 plus minutes away.
Yeah, it's trash. Where's the plan at?
Lockport.
Oh.
But not Lockport, just the outskirts.
I think I know where that's at, yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, nah, it's going to be a no from me, dog. I'll go work somewhere else.
Bro, it would be a no for me even if it was 5 minutes away.
90 days, yeah. F that, yo. 90, I can't do it.
Bro, I'm being serious. Like, let's say there was a job that was a 5-minute bike ride away somewhere on Bailey and whatever. Bailey and William. Like 90 straight days?
Not happening. I need a day off. I can even go one day off and
Bro,
back for another 6. I cannot just do it straight.
I would rather work 60 hours over 5 days for 3 straight months
Same here.
than 7 straight days.
Same here. I can't, even if you give me, to me, that's one of the worst things you can do.
Is going into work every day?
Every day, because even if you say, oh yeah, we'll give you 40 hours, but it's split up over the 7 days, however they want to do it. You know what I mean?
No, but technically it's 52. He has to work 52
Yeah, because he has to do Saturday and Sunday as well.
Yeah.
Well, that's my thing. Is I don't care how many hours you give me, but the point is the fact that you split them up over 7 days.
Trash,
I'm not
bro.
going into work every day. You're literally killing a part of my day every single day. Nobody wants to go to work 7 days a
And
week.
bro, like I said, it's one thing if it's 5 minutes away. It's 35.
Yeah. I would have just told him straight up, nah. I can't do that. Nah.
But he feels like this is his best option, and
It's good for him. If he can do it, he can do it. I personally can't.
no, bro, we already agree about the work schedule, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Max 4.
Max 4 days a week, but we all agree 4 hours max, 3 days or 4 days max. 3 days is ideal.
Yeah. No, bro, you're already there.
5-day work week is already trash. Everybody knows it. I don't care what anyone says. The only people who like working more than 5 days a week are people who like to work or people who want more.
And those are the people that are going to work 6-7 days anyways.
Yeah, so you might as well just make them 12-hour shifts and have them come in for 2 more days.
And then every place is off. No, you're good. Every place is off on Sundays besides religious or sporting events. And that's a different thing.
To me, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Every place can be open on Sunday. Doesn't bother me.
By the way, getting back to this intro, this is the 105th episode of the Rhinos and Aliens show. My name is Francis Mandrala, or as Daniel likes to say, White Luxurious, a.k.a. White Chocolate, a.k.a. Long Hair Don't Care. And in front of me, we have, who is basically a guest, but he is technically original.
Jordan.
Yes, the Snack Daddy.
Snack Daddy. Snack Matias. Yeah, Snack Daddy.
Okay, so we have a lot of stuff to discuss, but I know you're being sarcastic.
No,
but
it did.
No, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a clearing pop.
No, it was.
Yeah, it felt really good.
When you come from an airplane and you...
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it just sounded nice.
Yeah.
No, we can talk about vaccines. That's fine.
Okay.
How did we come to that conversation? We were talking about COVID, obviously.
We were talking about... It was a typical Rhinos and Aliens thing where we were talking about COVID, how the numbers are... You can't believe the numbers.
Yep.
And depending on the new update, the percent of the numbers is much lower than...
Yeah.
And then that somehow got to... We start talking about vaccines and talking about how... how many people in the U.S. are vaccinated? It's like 80%.
A lot, yeah. A lot.
And how many vaccines are there? There's dozens now.
Oh, yeah.
When you're a kid, you have
The ones that you, like, need?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember. But there's... I would say upwards of probably, like, in maybe the high teens.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just got a shot.
But I'm saying when you're young, the first 5 years, we get, 10, 12,
Yeah,
14, 15?
I just got a shot. What's the shot for tetanus?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's
for
only
10
good
years.
for 10 years, yeah.
Yep.
I got mine in 2009.
Rusty metal.
Yeah. I'm like, give me tetanus. I don't mind. So, yeah, I just got a
But
shot.
that's...
Yeah, I don't want that. It's a joke.
Shut down your bones, lock them up. Oh! Yo, have you ever had a muscle spasm?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you imagine having a muscle spasm for your bones? Because that's what it's compared to.
Pass. That shit would hurt.
Okay, but yeah, getting to the point, at least 80% of the U.S. population has at least 10 vaccines.
At least, I mean, how much you think only have one vaccine?
I would make the case, unless they're off the grid, every person has at least one.
Yeah.
Because, bro, you know
babies need vaccines.
Yeah. Well, it's the common shit. I can't even think. I know it's...
The what?
It's all the common shit that we don't consider anymore. For example,
like polio and stuff like that. Yeah, because it's
life-threatening.
It's good. Yeah, it's good for them to have that. Well, the whole point is, if they came out with the COVID vaccine, would you get it?
No. I wouldn't. Well, first off, because this COVID vaccine is just like the typical flu where it's evolving. So you might get this strand, but by the time you come in contact with somebody who actually has COVID...
It's changed.
So I know, okay, theoretically I'm being hypocritical because every strand of a virus you get is beneficial.
Yeah.
But for the reason why they would want me to get the vaccine, it's pointless. Because all the mandatory vaccines are vaccines for viruses that rarely change or don't change in terms of the makeup.
Yeah.
That's why I've never gotten the flu vaccine all these years.
I had to.
Well, because of your job, right?
Yeah.
But if take away job purposes, if it's not required, there is no point. You know how many strands of the flu there are every season? So how do you want to explain this about?
The whole point of the message was people don't know what vaccines. Not some people.
A lot of people.
A lot of people don't really know what vaccines do.
Specifically, I think
how they work.
I started by saying too many people are retarded.
Yes. But you said something else. You said, what did you say?
About the vaccines or about people?
The vaccines.
How whenever you get a vaccine, you are literally getting...
Yes, you're getting what the vaccine's made for.
Because I brought up HPV.
Yeah, that's what it was. So, like you said, you get warts because you have HPV now, basically.
Yeah.
The vaccine is a little dose of the thing you're supposed to be fighting. So that way your immune system
can better equip.
Can like, oh yeah, this is it. This is what we're fighting against. It knows how to fight against it.
Yeah.
That you're getting your body used to fighting against that disease or virus or whatever it is.
It's no different from an army. An army would rather go up against a new regimen that is only... Well, I said regiment, so that's a specific number. But go up against a new group of individuals that are only tens rather than hundreds because you might get overwhelmed.
Yeah, exactly. So you give it a little bit so your body knows how to fight it.
Yeah.
And then if you get it later, or it increases the chances of you if you get it later, if not, but if you get it later, your body knows
How to react.
to it. Instead of getting, it's like, slowly filling a cup instead of dumping a whole entire gallon
once,
on it.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's a lot easier to drink water when you're sipping than chugging.
Exactly. Because you can accustom it and you can just get used to it. So a lot of people don't know that though. A lot of people just think, oh yeah, I got the vaccine, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
I'll never get it. It's impossible.
But you already have it.
Yeah.
Well, no, the reason why I brought up specifically the HPV, because I knew a woman specifically who had the HPV shot, and then she was basically bragging how she never got an STD without realizing that technically you do have a STD and you're going to have it for life because you're vaccinated. Like the whole point of viruses is you're more likely than not to get a virus than pick whatever you want to choose, because that's part of life. Mm-hmm. But the point of it is having a body that can control the virus and not the virus control you.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Well, and then what do you? I know this is gonna kind of push it, but
no, let's push it.
What do you think of like people? When it first came out, everyone's like, "Oh, the virus was made in a lab." You know what I mean?
The corona?
Yeah.
I don't have enough facts. The only reason why I somewhat believe it is because of where it originated in China.
Yeah.
The only science lab throughout the entire country in China is in Wuhan.
Yeah.
So that's the only credibility.
Yeah. My thing is though, right? People, like there are obviously a lot of factors we can't account for, a lot of facts that we don't know.
And we'll
right?
never know.
Yeah. So there was one person on my Facebook, I will say, who they specifically believed, it started in a lab.
Okay.
And China purposely infected its citizens. And I'm like, okay, but there's no.
See, that's when you lose me.
Yeah, that's it. Why would you purposely?
Because why would you purposely ruin your economy?
Yeah, I understand making it into a lab to then put it on somebody else's, like
what they did to America.
What is it called? Something warfare. What is it called? Biological warfare.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, yeah, it happens. I'm pretty sure it happens all the time. A lot of time we don't know about it. A lot of times we do.
There's still debate about HIV.
Yeah, exactly. It happens. But my whole thing is they made it into a lab. Or, people are like, not only that, but people get surprised when they hear, oh, it was made in a lab. Viruses are made in labs all the time.
Food is... people forget. Every banana you eat
is genetically altered.
Yes, because an actual, true, pure banana is basically unedible.
Yeah, I know, and that's the thing is people forget and they don't, or they either forget or they don't know. You know what I mean?
Or they don't want to know.
My thing is, how many labs? I don't know the number for sure, but how many labs in the U.S. you think right now currently contain something that could classify as a biological weapon?
Well, we have three major... technically, biological weapons can only be held in certain accredited labs.
Yeah, exactly.
And America has three of them. Mm-hmm. I put money they're in all three.
Yeah, but how? Yeah, and then how many viruses do you think are there? Because
I couldn't even guess.
This is just a strain of COVID is what you got to remember. Meaning that labs see a strain and they don't just be like, okay, that's this strain. Yeah, but what do? They tweak it.
Yeah.
Because they want to know how far they can take it. Because the further they can take it means, if this strain can do this, maybe another strain can help with something else. Because that's the thing with when you find out about biology and stuff like that, certain things can help and certain things can hurt.
And when it comes to biological stuff, it is the most minute of
just difference. The slightest difference changes everything. And that's the thing is, this person who, I say this person, but this engineer who's working on this, this strain is, they're not doing it for they're trying to see.
They're doing it for scientific reasons.
They're saying if it gets this bad, how do we fight against it? That's the thing.
Or sometimes strands can lead to a positive medication or treatment.
That's what happens. So you have to look at both the positive and the negative. So I'm not saying it wasn't created in a lab, but my thing is, if it was created in a lab, we don't know if it got out on purpose or not.
Well, the thing is, because obviously people who are going with one side or the other, they're going with what's been reported. If you believe it was
that's all
created
you
in a
hear.
lab, the only information that makes sense is that it wasn't released. It was accidentally.
Yeah, like to me, it would make more sense if you told me, like the person who either created it or one of his like assistants or something
It got loose.
accidentally got it and then took it out. And then it's a pandemic. Once it hits one person, and it's now hit 2, 4, 6. It's doubling every single time.
Was
Tripling.
Supposedly from the reports I read, the container it was in was a typical movie scene. It broke. One of the people got infected without knowing it because something was exposed in
Yeah.
the suit or whatever.
Yep.
And they thought they were fine.
They went home.
And then
that's it. That's literally the end. That's all she wrote.
Sometimes
And that's all it takes.
Sometimes films,
Yeah.
they're spot on.
Believe it or not, that's all it takes. So that's the thing is, you never know. But I love seeing the stuff that people believe, and it's just like,
Well, I love seeing the stuff that people believe, and in the same thought, they go against what they previously stated. Like in the same statement, they'll say, "Oh, I believe it was created in the lab," but then they make this stupid comment of it was purposefully released in the country, which is the same country that was in full-blown lockdown for 4 months.
Yeah.
No country wants to lose money.
no, not at all. And every country's basically losing money now.
Yeah, every
Like-
country has lost at least. Every country's been affected one way or another, either indirectly or straight up directly.
Mm-hmm. And it's, we can't go fucking almost anywhere. Anywhere we go, we got to quarantine. 2 weeks. That's why there's no point in traveling right now.
Oh hell no, bro!
You can't go anywhere because you have to first, unless you have somebody who lives in that country or wherever you're going, you have to then pay for a hotel for 2 weeks. So the only people traveling are rich people and people who have family. We heard the Rock's family got coronavirus.
Yeah, I'm just going to say this. I was disappointed in how he messaged it.
I didn't see it. I just heard it. I just like.
I
saw somebody post it, and then I saw a confirmation. And
Well, it was on Insta. I
Facebook.
believe.
I saw it on Facebook. I don't have Instagram anymore.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about that another time.
I just deleted it.
Oh, well, it was he made a post on Instagram. That's how it
that
got.
makes sense.
Yeah, and it was just whatever you think a Hollywood person would say in that situation. That's what he sadly said. So. Okay, since we were talking about the globe and we're talking about other countries,
Okay.
how do you've now officially traveled to what is it? 4 European countries now?
I don't know.
Iceland, Italy, Greece, Israel.
I mean, there was more in between, but yeah.
No, don't those kind of because I know most of the islands we went to were part of Greece.
Yes, but not all of them. I believe one of them wasn't.
Okay, so 4 or 5.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
Okay.
Okay, yes, and
Now, since we have experienced other cultures, well, you've experienced other cultures. I'm going to bring this back to women, but you emphasized overall the culture.
yeah.
How does it compare to just America in general and American women, specifically from
Okay, for you, you'll talk about American women.
Yeah.
Specifically for me, people in general are way nicer than any American. Like
On
I mean,
average.
yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that America is not nice, but we definitely aren't as nice as other people. Because the difference is, I walk down the street here, and you look at somebody, and it's always, "What you looking at? You got a problem?" And then I walk down the street somewhere else, and it's like, "Oh, hey, good morning. How's it going? How you doing?"
That was the best phrase, depending on the day. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Yeah. But I will say, I will give it to, like I said, like, for instance, today, this morning, when I was awake and I was walking, someone did say good morning to me, and I didn't say it first. So, it kind of depends, but at the same time, on average.
That's what. But you know me, bro. Whenever I make these overall arching accusations, I'm
on
speaking.
average.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, and like I said, we all know America's a rough country.
Well, look how it was founded.
Yeah, exactly.
But I would make the case if you compare America with Australia, because Australia was even worse than America.
That's true.
It was a prison state.
Yeah.
The whole purpose of Australia and its creation was prison.
Yeah.
And if you go to Australia, I would make the case that even more than Europe, they're nicer.
I agree.
You go down to Australia and like, yo, what the fuck type of drugs is in the water? Because this is too nice.
which is not a bad thing.
No,
I like it.
I'm
I
not.
like it.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying when you compare it to the average American
Yeah.
city, it's like, am I in a film right now? And it's
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing, though. I mean, granted, we do live in New York. You know, it is one of the rougher places.
Well, technically speaking, no matter what study you find, New York as a state, especially certain cities, is always considered the worst or
Yeah.
one of the worst.
Exactly. So, I mean, I can't testify for all other 49 states, but I can't testify for my state.
But to be fair, the two states that are consistently in the bottom of the poll is Cali and New York.
Yeah, always. They're
And-
also the biggest, most population.
That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
So even though there's other states that are nicer, when half of your population, or what is
Yeah,
it?
you have more encounters. You're obviously going to have more encounters. you know?
Yeah. So I think our feelings about New York is very valid since it accounts for 1/6, 1/5 of the entire United States population.
Yeah. It's a fair enough point.
You know?
Yeah. So,
And what our worst experience when we were on the cruise was that one security guard in Israel.
which one?
You remember when we were trying to get the bus pass to go to the Great Market,
Yes.
and we were having problems, and we kept going to the security guard, the woman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I
Now
do remember that.
now she's a bitch,
Yeah.
but she would have been a bitch no matter what country she was in.
That's very true. And I know that job has to suck. You know what I mean? So I understand that.
Especially, can you imagine? Okay, you know how bad it is at the hospital. Can you imagine how bad it would be if you had 50 different languages going back and forth?
Yeah, exactly. So I understand that. That
Yeah.
does suck. But I'm just saying that places are nicer than America. A
But
lot
yo,
nicer.
even in that situation, she
I
wasn't.
love still America. I still love America. I just want to be clear on that.
She wasn't aggressive. She was just rude. She was just ignoring. She was like, whatever.
Yeah.
Just fuck
Yeah,
off.
she was just like, yeah, pretty much. She was just like, I don't want to be bothered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the 50th different language I had to hear today. My mind scrambled. Fuck off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But we still made it.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
And by the way, I just want to say this. I could never. I wish I was not a movie buff, because what keeps me in America is how basically all the entertainment is between Britain and the U.S.
For us, yes.
Well, I'm talking about now, but even when you count, okay, you have the Japanese, the Chinese, and the Indian markets.
Yeah.
But is any other market really compared to those two? I would say those are the top 5 Hollywood markets.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I know. That's
So-
what I'm saying. But
If I want to go to Italy, as an example, it's a completely different way of life, you know?
yeah.
And if I wasn't such a film enthusiast,
Yeah.
it wouldn't matter, because I prefer the rest of the way of life, you know? Okay, I need to speak clearly.
I mean, but you got Netflix.
Such a major part. I know, but the experience of
Being
going
in a movie theater.
movie theater where it's people who speak your language, there's no subtitles. Because, bro, that's my worst fear. Let's say I moved to Germany for whatever reason. I'm not watching Tenet in subtitles, bro.
That wouldn't bother me.
I know, because you're so used to it. But
Yeah. You do get used to it. But I watch everything in subtitles, no matter what.
But then, depending on the certain films, they wouldn't change the language. It would just be English, right? So I wouldn't need the subtitles.
That's correct.
Well, you know how some films they change they do
They voiceover.
voiceover dubs.
Yeah. But there are also a lot of places that don't do that. So vice versa. I'm willing to bet you can find a movie theater in Italy or Germany, and they'll be speaking English.
My point is, bro, if I was not born in America, I would be like most people in the world. I would say fuck America.
I get that. I love America, man. Double cheeseburger. Call it my name.
No,
I still think. I mean, I still think we have. There are certain things that we do right, and obviously there are certain things that we do wrong. But when we do things wrong, we do them really wrong, and when we do things right, we do them really right.
I was about
There's
to say
no middle ground.
There's no middle ground.
It's
There's no
it's
right
just-
above the line.
Or here, can we meet in the middle? No, fuck that. America's not about meeting in the middle, sadly.
Yeah, I would say that's the.
Yeah, people can't compromise. It's got to be one way or it's got to be the other way. There is nothing in between. I mean, there are certain people, yes, obviously. But sadly, I would say most of the people, it's got to be this way or it's got to be that way. And sadly, most of the people are, it's got to be my way. There is no
Nope.
your way.
And I would say that's the biggest difference between the majority of countries in Europe compared to America. The compromise is more willing, which you could see throughout the society. The
Yeah.
politics is more compromising, which trickles down to the rest of the economy.
Yeah.
And the society in general.
Because Americans, we don't compromise.
Well, that's how we were founded, bro.
Yeah. And look at us now. Still, 2 something years later.
Yeah, 250,
Yeah,
around
about
250,
250.
right? Yeah.
Just, still not compromising. Our biggest downfall.
But like you said, us not compromising is why
It's either really great or really bad.
the love-hate effect.
Yeah.
You either absolutely love aspects of America or you straight up hate it. Because it's straight shit in some areas, and in other areas, no other country can compete, you know?
Yeah. Which I think is funny.
Okay, guys, so I just wanted to make some clarifications from the past couple episodes that was brought to my attention.
Yeah. Hit me with it.
When there's 3 people on the show, I'm off camera.
Yeah.
and
You're working the behind the scenes.
Yeah. So behind the scenes, I came off harsh about Black Lives Matter.
Harsh as in.
I
what do you mean?
disapproved of it, but it didn't come out correctly. So I just wanted to say,
Yeah, a lot of things can't be. I haven't seen it, but.
yeah. So the whole point is, I believe in the message of Black Lives Matter.
Okay.
That's not my issue with Black Lives Matter. My issue is I don't agree with the movement itself because it's not about, in my opinion, the movement isn't about Black lives or about making better, greater, safer place. The movement is about creating conflict, division, and violence. And I feel like it's politically motivated. And that's my problem. Any movement that is politically motivated is always coming from a biased perspective.
Coming from the wrong place.
Yeah.
I get that. I legit have a basically almost older brother who
Is
he's black. When I tell you I grew up with him, I mean I grew up with him. He stayed at our house for a couple years because he was kicked out of his own house, and my mom took him in. And all lives matter, yes, but currently Black lives need to matter.
but
And to some people they don't, and that's the problem.
but this is my distinction. Do you believe in the message or do you believe in the actual group? Because there are two different things.
And this is where my ignorance comes into play. Is I don't know about the actual group. I
Okay.
believe in the message.
So I respect that.
Yeah, but I also believe anyone who says, "Oh yeah," like what I see a lot is, the response to Black Lives Matter is all lives matter. Yeah, no shit, all lives always matter. I mean, in all honesty, to being the person that I am, not all lives matter. Some people's lives are shit, and I don't like them, and not even that I don't like them. But if you're a scum person, I'm not going to get into that. But anyways, if your response to Black Lives Matter is all lives matter, then like you said, they're not seeing the problem.
But what if I made the case that how the group of Black Lives Matter keeps emphasizing systematic racism, police brutality, and the negatives of the United States? What if I said what they're pointing out is bullshit in the sense they're only pointing out individual moments and they're not pointing out the overarching story?
Well, then I guess it depends. It depends on the perspective. Me personally, I do agree with you. They're not pointing out the whole, the whole story. They're just pointing out the one incident, or,
Yeah.
that part that further pushes their agenda. You know what I mean?
That's a good word.
That's not a good thing. But do I believe in police brutality? Absolutely. That is something that. But the thing is, like I said, every police brutality incident has a different. It has a different. What's the word I'm looking for?
Perspective.
Perspective. Like, I don't know how it came to this situation. You know what I mean? I only know the outcome of this situation. You know what I mean? And sadly, no matter what anyone tells me, I wasn't there. And what I do is I don't believe in anybody. I'll take everything I heard and I'll say, okay, any one of these could have happened, but I don't know the truth because I was not there. You know what I mean? So every incident has its own outcome and everything like that. But especially right now that's where all the cameras are focused. Thank God there's no water in there. That's where all the cameras are focused. So you're going to see a lot more of it. But I also believe if you point out all the bad, you have to realize that there's also good.
Well, that's okay. So what I want to say is I believe there's systematic racism. and I
course.
believe there's police brutality.
Absolutely.
But I don't believe it the way the media and social media
Are
is.
portraying it.
Yeah. Because, bro, race.
I don't watch news, so I don't know how they're portraying it.
I know, but I have to because of the podcast. Like, I'm just.
Yeah, you keep up to date on things. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm getting my news from you.
Yes, yes. So basically, all I'm trying to say is if you believe racism is what the news portrays, it's skin deep, then I disagree with you. If you believe racism as a class, then I agree with you. There is systematic racism in the sense of the rich take advantage of the poor, and it doesn't matter the color. If anything,
So I get what you're saying now. You believe in like you just said. You believe more in the systematic, the class racism.
yes, because it's how much you want to look. Like yes, some black people don't get the first shot at it, but I could give you just as many opportunities that a non-black person doesn't. Like, bro, like this is why I'm not speaking because I'm quote unquote white. I'm speaking because I've lived through this. I went to Canisius, which is supposedly a white Jesuit school. By the way, all Jesuit schools are supposed to give valedictorians full rights. That's a Jesuit principle. I was a valedictorian. Just because I was white, I had to fight. I had to prove I was
You told me about this. I remember this.
non-white enough to join a full ride program at Canisius. By the way, I would have been only the second or third out of however many people that was white. Everybody else was minority.
Yeah.
Oh, I had to defend that I'm from the hood? Yes, white people live in the hood. You know why?
true.
Because not all white people are rich. Go out to the Middle West. Do you think those farmers have the good life?
Yeah. No, I get that. No, I get that. I believe, but the thing is, I believe because I've seen it, like you said, where I believe, yes, there is like a systematic racism where it's definitely with class, but there is also skin deep racism.
But my defense to that is I would say you're never going to be able to eliminate racism of that order.
As long as the other one still holds, right?
Yeah.
I get that. I understand that. I would like to get rid of both. My thing is, I see what you're saying now, where they're pointing at the one but not looking at the other.
They're not even recognizing the
That
other.
it exists.
And that's
Now I see what you're saying. Okay.
and to put this in a different perspective, the videos they are showing, they're only showing you what they want to show you. In the same sense, they're only talking
always.
about one sort of racism.
Absolutely.
But if they open up the picture and show the full video, just like if they open up the conversation and talk about both types of racism, then you might see that, yes, this cop shot this black individual, but maybe before he shot him, he was pulling out a knife.
See, that's why I'm saying, like, I don't know every incident.
No, and bro, I want to make this clear. Some cops are wrong. And
Absolutely. They deserve the death or life in jail, whatever the penalty is, but they deserve to they need to be held accountable for what they've done.
But at the end of the day, they're a citizen, so they deserve fair trial, first off. And then secondly, can we stop assuming just because he's a white cop and it's a black dude, he's killing that individual
Because of his race?
Yes, because that's the first assumption, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like, bro, whenever a new person dies, which, by the way, it's not as often as the news is making it seem. It's once This sounds harsh, but we need to put this in perspective. A black individual being killed by a cop every other month is technically not a lot. That's 6 people a year. Like, if we're... I know every life is valuable.
Yeah.
But big picture.
I see what you're saying. You're saying if you hold it from every life means the same. You're not putting emotions, anything into it, just in pure value.
6
just
people.
Just in one, like a body count.
Statistics.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. But here's the thing, right? And here's also what I learned to accept is if I'm a cop, right, and I think somebody's about to pull a knife on me,
Or let alone a
gun, and I shoot them, and it was not a knife, it was not a gun, it was something else, then I basically, like you had said, I'd have to go to fair trial. I'd have to do my dues because, in all honesty, but I don't think there's no way you should get away with that for like, oh well, you did it. Like you should still be held accountable for that. You took another person's life. You have to be held accountable.
I'm not saying that, but
no, I get that. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying
me in general.
Yeah, but I'm saying we need to stop assuming it's race based.
Yeah, I get that. Like not everything is race based. I get that.
And this is what I always come back to. But how many times do police interact with citizens?
Yeah.
And how often does that lead to death? When you compare that to other fields, like for example, let's say a person who gets really injured by a cop, that is a flagrant one in basketball, right?
A person who gets okay, gotcha.
And then a person who gets killed by a cop is a player who did something so bad he's kicked out of the game and suspended, right?
Okay.
When you start comparing jobs in those terms, the cops are actually some of the most efficient individuals in terms of career paths. Like, you remember how that one time we were talking about hospitals?
Okay.
If people got on how many times nurses and doctors fucked up,
Oh yeah.
it would be a completely different. We wouldn't even talk about cops,
Yeah, I get that.
especially when it comes to
Yeah, I
poor.
remember I was talking about that one TV show I was talking to you about.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
And I'm just trying to say, I understand where the principle is coming from, but if you're using that principle, we also have to consider we can't be biased and we can't be hypocritical. We need to compare. Like, for example, how many times do teachers fuck up? And I know it's different in terms of you're fucking up an exam or you're taking somebody's life, but in terms of comparing error, in terms of errors.
Okay.
If we start comparing all types of jobs and how many times people fuck up, and
Okay, so I see what you're saying now. I am white. I am also Hispanic though.
depending on who you talk to now, you're either straight up Hispanic white or you're a minority.
Yeah. So, but my thing is, a lot of people, like, I'll tell someone I'm Hispanic, and a lot of people go, well, it doesn't matter because your skin's white. Well, I mean, it depends. But my whole point is, I am not black. I don't know what it's like to grow up black. I don't. But, so, you hear the cop, I feared for my life. I didn't know what they were going to do, right? I can see why a black person, when they see a cop, would fear for their life now. You know what I mean?
But yeah, I know what you mean. Why is it only the black community? Are we really trying to act?
I don't think it's only the black community, but I believe currently the black community holds the loudest voice.
But why? There's less black people than Hispanics, and I would make the case Hispanics, if you look at the numbers, it's on the same level, if not higher.
That I don't know. I don't know the statistics behind that.
But bro, like all I'm trying to say is you don't need to in terms of common sense, you don't even need to hear the statistics to know like how many gangs are strictly Hispanic related. Like
Oh yeah, a lot.
and for whatever, and I'm not saying they're not saying it's racism or not, but from the Hispanics I know to the media, it's not covered. Like if it's such a problem for blacks, let's not be hypocritical and just say it's the blacks. It's everybody.
Okay, I see what you're saying. And I can't.
You don't have an answer.
I don't. Yeah.
But most people don't.
Yeah, I don't. Black lives matter. White lives matter. No, for real. I know the all lives matter is bullshit. But all lives matter in a response to Black Lives Matter is bullshit. Because Black lives matter. White lives matter. Chinese, everyone's lives matter. Of course they matter. 99% of the people on this earth have somebody who care about them. They matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But currently, I think the focus is they feel like they're being attacked by this, the system, which is, and that's the thing that's what I stand behind. Is not that I believe that they're being attacked by this system. It's more so I believe the fact that Black lives matter. It's just that simple to me. If somebody asks me, do Black lives matter? Of course they do.
Well, but see, that's the whole problem with the movement for me. That's a stupid question because you should know the answer.
That's what I'm saying. That's why to me it's not it. To me it shouldn't be a question.
Okay,
but yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, I know it's kind of confusing, but
No,
to me
I
I put it in the simplest terms. Where if somebody says, "Do Black lives matter?" Yeah, they matter. So that's why I stand behind it, is because Black lives do matter.
Okay,
I agree with that. Same way as if you put I don't want to say it this way, but if you put a white lives matter, I actually wouldn't be behind that. If you put Polish lives matter, that'd make more sense to me because white is.
Well, no, I disagree with that then because
yeah,
then
I know you disagree with it.
No, you shouldn't say Black Lives Matter then. You should say whatever ethnicity then.
To me, though, my problem, and I will say this, is I don't like white people.
I don't either.
Yeah, my problem is white people get very specific, and then sometimes they just like to be generalized.
I would say that about black people though. Like
You think so?
yes.
I feel like
Bro, like for example, this is a pet peeve of mine. When people say I'm African American. Oh, you are? Is your direct ancestor African? Oh no, they're American. So you're American. You're not African American. You're American.
so. How does that work for you then?
I don't
If they came from Africa, now they live in America, they're African American.
Yes. Like you
Okay.
no,
But if their father,
no, that still counts
if they-
too.
okay, so how far back does it have to go?
Well, technically speaking, if you were born in Africa and come to America, you're not American. You're African.
Yeah, but you're an American citizen. Well, you
Yes.
can be an American citizen.
But if you have children, then your children
Are
are African American.
African-American.
But once those children have children, so
They're
your
American.
Yes.
Okay, I kind of see that. Okay.
No, I'm not, bro. I'm not saying I.
no.
agree.
I'm just trying
yeah.
to understand your.
But I'm saying this is how ignorant people are. They don't even know simple facts. Like, for example, the reason why there's Japanese American and all that stuff, that's not because they wanted to be racist or nothing. It's because their parents were full Japanese, and now since they were born as American citizens, they're both.
Yeah.
They have the Japanese heritage, but they're growing up in the American society. That's why they were called Japanese American. But the moment they have kids, they're strictly American because American citizens
had kids and are okay. That makes more sense. I see what you're saying now. So only that one generation can be
classified.
Okay. Okay.
And the reason why I'm saying it's hypocritical is because they want to be considered African American no matter how long it takes. But if an actual Polish American wants to be technical and say I'm Polish American, they'll be like, no, you're a white American. Shut the fuck up. And that's where I get pissed off because you don't even know your own. You don't know what language is used for communication.
Yes.
So you can't say this is the definition or the origin of something and then switch it up out of the blue. Like if it's over a trend, like with how gay changed. But at the end of the day, gay still means both things.
Yeah.
I could say gay as
the original definition and then the definition of
Yes.
it now. I get that.
and that just that pisses me off because if you want to be called black, then technically speaking, the whole concept of black, the way they're using it is that they're American. They're a full-blown black individual who grew up and raised in America.
Okay. I think it's more so for me that the reason why I couldn't be able to get behind White Lives Matter is because like right now currently like I said, there's a problem, right? Where a lot of black people are dying.
I disagree with that.
You think it just looks like that because it's more focused on it now?
Yeah, there's like
I mean, I can understand that. Like I said,
No,
it's your point of view. I'm not going to fight you on it.
and I'm not fighting because
Yeah.
you, like you said, you're not keeping up. You're only seeing what you see.
Yeah, I'm only seeing what I see online, and that's it. Literally, because I don't watch TV.
And for me, just
when I know in person, yeah.
the person I am, I like for example, let's do experiment. Right? Let's do experiment where like I'm not going to do it because I can't do it. It'll be fake as hell. But let's say we have a video. I'm choking. Right?
You're choking?
Yeah, I'm choking.
On what?
You just know I'm choking.
Okay.
And then let's say the headline says Jordan hit Francis in the throat. He's choking.
Okay.
But you only ever see me choking, so you believe that. But if you see the full video, you see that Francis was drinking water, and then Jordan accidentally hit the water, and the water went down my throat, so I started choking.
Okay, so you're saying they're not only are they focusing on the wrong thing, but they're also they're
basically
I also
lying.
I also believe that a lot of news and internet articles and stuff like that, they don't give you the full story, hands down.
They never do. It's to sell.
Yeah, exactly. It's to sell. It's to make up their own agenda. I'm not saying all of them do that, but I am saying the major ones
Once
Definitely
again,
some
on
shady work.
average.
Yeah, on average. So I do agree with that, but my whole point is currently right now there is a Black Lives Matter movement, right?
Yes, there is.
There is. So me being the person that I am, like I said, I do believe that all lives matter. So when you ask me, do Black Lives Matter? Yes. I'm not going to sit there and say, no, they don't. I'm not going to sit there and say all lives matter because the current focus now is do Black Lives Matter? And for me, that's a yes.
Okay, bro. I'm agreeing with the message, but
It's how they're doing it.
well, like for example, let's say a group started White Lives Matter, and let's say the message is because of whatever. Let's say it's a bullshit message. Like, let's say the reasoning why, because too many cops are killing them. Let's use the same thing for Black Lives Matter, right?
Okay.
You look up the stats, and you know it's bullshit.
Okay. I know it's bullshit.
But what if the message behind White Lives Matter had to do with farming? White lives, if you look up the research, farmers in the Midwest are technically in worse condition. They're depending
Okay,
on
I
the
get what
year.
you're saying. Yeah,
they're
yeah.
in the same condition or worse condition as the quote unquote hoods.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah. They go through very rough periods.
So if a group came out with White Lives Matter and that was the message,
the message was more farmer. Well, then my first thing was they should say farmers' lives matter.
but that's the confusion. But the thing is, most farmers, at least in the Midwest, are white.
Yeah, that's correct.
I'm not talking about the Mexicans in the
Yeah, I get that.
in the Midwest. So I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
If people came out with Black Lives Matter and they had something to do with the hoods or certain areas are not getting the right treatment, I can agree with that. When you're coming out saying police brutality and systematic racism, when I can point to large areas of the country or large groups that are suffering as badly as quote unquote blacks, if not worse, your message falls through to me. If anybody wants to look up the stats, look up the stats at how many unarmed black individuals die each year over the past 10 years. By the way, unarmed individuals doesn't mean innocent. It just means unarmed.
Yeah.
It will shock you how few it is. But you watch the news, you think it's happening all the time because every time it happens, they're reporting on it. They're not reporting on every time it happens to a Hispanic, every time it happens to a white person.
Okay.
And bro, like one of the years, it was 2018 or 2019, only 9. Quote unquote, only 9. I'm not saying those 9 lives did not matter. But when you're looking at the grand scheme of things, you know how many different situations 9 people die every single day because of fuck-ups? Either traffic violations. Accidents.
Yeah.
Are we going down on their throats? And by the way, every cop that's killing these individuals, they're not all white. Most recently, there was a half white, half Hispanic. I believe it was Mexican. If you look, you remember how somebody said you might be Hispanic, but you look white, so you're
absolutely.
white? Okay, that's hypocritical because this individual, if I did not tell you he was half white, you would think he's full-blown Mexican, bro. Mm-hmm. He does not. He's the complete opposite of you.
Yeah, I get that.
Even though he's half white, he looks
that.
full-blown Mexican. Mm-hmm. Yet they're still saying it's racism because he's half white. What are we doing? Your argument is breaking down. And all I'm trying to get people to see is don't go to the first thing you see. Read 4 more things.
No, I get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying completely, right? And we're literally agreeing on the same things.
We're just
having a trouble of, you know what I'm saying?
Combining.
Connecting, right?
Yeah.
My whole thing is I take away all the complications.
And you just go to the base
I
message.
go to the base message, the bare minimum. Do Black Lives Matter. That's why, to me, I support the movement.
And I agree with you from the...
Yeah, from the base. But with you, that's because that's who I am.
Yes.
That's what I do.
Yes.
And with you, you're a different person. You see things different ways. So how you do it is different from how I do it.
But I would say most people, especially on social media, are viewing it through your lens, and that's where the conflict is with the country.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, also, let's not forget, one of the major conflicts is some people don't think Black Lives Matter.
And some people do believe Black Lives Matter, but they're taking advantage of it as well.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
They're not trying to make it into something meaningful. They're just taking advantage of, okay, it's election year, or
Yeah. There are people like that. Yeah,
It's both.
everyone
both
has their
sides.
own agenda.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own agenda. But my thing is like for people, and I will say it, you see the videos of white people calling people N-words and stuff like that, or a white person telling a Mexican to go back, go from where they came from. That person right there, you're the person I'm talking about. You need to have a reality check.
You're a scumbag.
Yeah, you are scum.
But I just want to say this: there's probably more people like that in the country, but also let's not act like Hispanics and blacks are innocent. Because I know at least one Hispanic that doesn't like blacks. I know
That's very. You know what? And I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I am Hispanic. I've been to enough Hispanic households, and it is a common theme where, and I don't know why this is, where Hispanics, it's not that they don't like black people, it's more so they don't mix. You understand what I'm saying?
I have a lot of theories about that,
to
but I
me-
don't want to get into
But
it.
to me, that is kind of the same thing. Whereas if you don't like them, you don't want to mix. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've been to several Spanish households where the daughter has a black boyfriend.
And the family members are heated.
Oh yeah. But if she has a black friend, it's fine. And that's also, but then that's to me, that's basically the same thing as racism.
Well, it's just low key racism.
Yeah, exactly. But what a lot of people have to understand is, Hispanics in general are a mixture of a lot of things.
Well, it depends on for example, you're obviously white and you barely have any black in you, but some like other Puerto Ricans,
Yeah,
they
exactly.
have barely any white, but a
Exactly.
shitload of.
And then, and also when I say Spanish, I do mean mainly Puerto Ricans because I know mainly Puerto Ricans.
Well, I would make the case Puerto Ricans of all the Hispanic groups are the most diverse.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. We are the most diverse, but there are still some of us who will.
the most racist.
Yeah, and I don't get that. How can you be mixed with so many things and then sit there and fucking? I don't like that because they're black or they're white. Like, what do you mean,
in
bro?
that case, that's racism of ignorance.
That's also very true. People are ignorant.
A lot of people don't realize most racism is just ignorance.
Yeah, and the thing is too is like I don't understand how you can be mixed. Like me and my mom have this saying all the time where it's like you see all these white people, like white power and the shit like that, and it's like just go to Ancestry, spend the $40-$50 and find out where you're really from. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because I'm me, bro. I think I've showed you my list before.
Yeah, it's
I
over
have
10.
I have 15 different things.
Yeah.
And the main thing I think I was like Russian or some type of Polish ancestry.
Eastern European.
Yeah, Eastern European, that's what it was. And then I'm like 4% what's it called? From some type of island, I can't even remember. It's
Yeah,
just like I'm so far, like I'm mixed between so many things. It's like someone says they don't like Spanish. I'm like, okay, well, I'm that. Someone says they don't like European people. Well, I'm that. Someone says they don't like, I even have some Native American in me.
Well,
from my Puerto Rican.
Can I make this? I want to make this clear about my view on racism. I believe the majority of racism now is ignorance. Because
I agree with that.
people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But I feel like when the concept of race was first invented, racism back then was less about skin and more about class.
Well, yeah, because white people had more influential power, more wealth, and stuff like that.
And let's not forget.
But they built the class system. Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
Well, no, Americans, the white people did build the class. But see, this is why two things can be true at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
The reason why race is now viewed as a color thing is because back then when it was created, all the people with power were white.
That makes sense.
But don't get it twisted. If a black man somehow had power, there's a few of them back then. Do you think the whites didn't fuck? No, they did because they made money. That's how they would make money. It's the same thing now. If there is somebody who is truly racist, quote unquote, like racism of non-ignorance, right?
Okay.
They're still going to because you have depending on how specific you want to get, you have the Russians who hate the Irish and they hate.
Yeah, you're very right.
There's white on white racism, but This is such a complicated.
Yeah, because there's fucking so many races. Everything's complicated.
But not every racism is the same, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like a lot of the racism now, it has nothing to do with anything but ignorance. But then the original racism was strictly class, and true racism without ignorance now, it's because of culture. It's not because of your skin. It's because the Russians, for whatever reason, always had beef with the Italians. The Italians always had beef with the Irish, and now they're not hating you because of how you look or whatever. They're hating you because of the history of those two.
The history of them hating each other.
Yes,
We
and-
have to hate them because our grandfathers hated them.
And that's what's creating the quote unquote racism, but they're not hating them due to what we think of racism now.
Yeah.
If that
I get what you're trying to say. I don't honestly, I don't understand it all the way, but I get what you're saying.
okay, because I'm trying to get it to, if you don't understand, obviously the audience. What I'm trying to say is, like everything else, racism is just not one note. There's multiple notes.
Yeah. Okay.
And I would say most racism in society now is due to ignorance because they just don't know enough to actually understand another group or individual.
I agree with that. Because people fear what they don't understand.
Yes. And racism originally was created or formed not due to anything but class, because that's what race was invented. Race was not invented to distinguish between colors. It was to distinguish between social and economical class.
Yeah.
And just because America was so divided back then with wealth and social economics, it just happened that most of the people that were considered black were actually black, you know?
So you're saying they generalized it?
Yes.
They're saying, okay, look at all these wealthy people. They're all white.
Yeah.
Okay. Where does that fall in with our conversation, though?
I'm
I'm lost.
I'm saying how there's different types of racism and how it's evolved.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And,
okay.
And now, like when 90% of the time when somebody's truly racist, it really doesn't even have to do, because when people are racist towards color, that's really not racism. It's just ignorance. It's like they've been brought up when somebody's different from you, you're supposed to hate them, like
Yeah.
that type of thing.
Yeah, I get that.
And then the other type of racism is where individuals have a long history of hating each other.
So they continue to do so.
Yes.
Okay, so I see what you're saying.
Like, for example, what's going on with the Jews and the Israelites.
It's been a long, long feud.
If you put those two groups in America, would that not be considered racism?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not really racism when it's not considered racism over there. It's just considered hatred.
I guess because, like you said, racism mostly now is ignorance, is because a lot of people see racism as a skin color thing. Like you said, where it originated with class.
Yeah.
I guess for other people wouldn't see it that way is because it's mainly about religion at that point, right?
Yeah.
I guess it honestly comes down to a point is what is your definition of racism?
And it comes down to the point, but what I was trying to make the comparison with that, most Israels look the same.
Okay.
Most Israelites look the same, and most Jews, on average, look the same.
Well, I wouldn't know. I don't know about that.
In that country, those Jews look the same. I'm not talking about Jews across the world. I'm talking about
In Israel.
yes.
Oh man, there's a vast variety though.
But bro, okay, if we're doing that,
But then
do all blacks look the same?
You know why? It's because we're going too much into it. Because my thing is, to me, you see Jewish as a people. I see Jewish as a religion.
Oh, I don't.
You see what I'm saying? So we're crossing other things. That's why it's confusing for me now. Not confusing, but that's why we can't really see eye to eye on this. Is because we see things differently from the get go.
But bro, even if you I know where you're going to go. They don't all look the same. Do all blacks look the same? Do light skins and red bones look the same to milk chocolate and dark chocolate? But they're all classified the same. So many different colors of black, quote unquote, black people.
Okay.
But they're all grouped together in the same thing. Just like how all whites are grouped together in the same thing. You're telling me Italians and Spaniards look the same as Brits?
No.
Okay, then. So that's it. I don't like that argument.
No, I understand that. No, that's what I'm saying. But my whole thing is the reason why
Oh,
I said
religion.
that was because I saw it more as a religion and you see it more as a people.
Well, in that,
but it's both.
but in that war, it is people, Jews versus Israelites.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, because at that point, if you follow the religion, you are a Jew.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, it depends on how you see things. We're all seeing things from different perspective.
But I wish more people would open up their horizon or do a little more research.
I get that. My thing is, and I'm just like I said, I like to put it down to the bare essentials, the plain and simple. Is if you if you for 1 second think you are better than another person because of skin color or because of social class, you're in the wrong.
But is Kobe Bryant better than me?
Well, it depends.
Depends how you look at it. Perspective.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But I'm not gonna say he's better than you because he's black.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why I said by skin color or by social class.
Yes.
Because sir, by skin color, I mean like, what are you gonna? He's better than you because he's black? That makes no sense. See, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense.
It's
to me.
retarded.
Yeah, exactly. It's a dumb thing. It's a dumb thing to see it on a better
superficial.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Exactly. So, but if you do it by class, then I mean, yeah, I guess he could be better than you. He makes more money than us, right?
No, but that's
you
still,
can be a better person still.
No, I was going to say that's a shitty argument too, because just because somebody has more money doesn't mean they earned it.
Yeah. Now you see my whole point. They're both shitty arguments. So for you to sit there and tell me that you are better than this person because of either skin color or social class or any other reason, that's absolute bullshit. You can't do that, yo.
But remember, when I think of racism, I think of it as social class.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. But for me,
oh yeah,
to the bare essentials, if I see a white person say she's better than this person because she's white,
no, but but as we just showed, if somebody said they're better than somebody else because of social class, initially you can understand.
yeah, but the thing is, I understand why you see racism that way. I never saw it that way. In all honesty, I understood that it was seen that way, but for me, I always saw racism as skin color.
And most people do. The only reason why I disagree is because, as somebody told you, I look white, so that means I'm white. I'm actually white.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when I try to do anything as a quote-unquote white person, I'm not viewed as white. Because you know why?
Because you're from the ghetto.
My social economical class.
Now I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying now a lot more. I have not run into those instances as much as you have, which is probably why I've never thought about it that way.
Yeah, and at the end of the day...
I mean, I have run into people who thought I was from a wealthy family because I was white. And I'm like, it don't work that way, bruh.
And by the way, some people might view that as racism. Since most people view racism as skin deep, I've never viewed racism as a skin thing. I view it, when people say that, for me, that's more so ignorance than... Because if you, like, for example...
Yeah, because like we just pointed out, if you think you're better than somebody because of skin color, you're absolutely off your rocker. That's an ignorant thing.
But when you think you're better than somebody because of class, there is
logic as to why you would think that, but that doesn't make it true.
Yes, but it does make it racist.
Yes, it
And
does.
I guess what I'm trying to say is I agree with what people are saying about racism in the sense these people are blah, blah, blah. But I think we need to change the word. I don't think racism is what people think it is in that sense. If people, for example, if I said I'm better than you, Jordan, because I'm darker skin color, right? I wouldn't say if I was another person. If I wasn't, if I was a person overhearing, I wouldn't say, "Oh, Francis is racist." No, I would say Francis is ignorant. So my definitions of words are different, and that's why I'm disagreeing.
There you go. That's the whole point. That's what we got to get to. I understand that. Like I said, I can't even argue against you because what you're saying makes sense.
But that's just a communication issue.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the entire problem with fucking America. What did I just tell you? If it's not my way, doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And I don't get that.
It's fucked up, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't get it.
Well, I would also make the case that is a major problem. That is the dangerous problem of changing the definitions of words so frequently.
Yeah.
When you're consistently changing the definition of words, especially when you're making it the opposite of the origin.
Yeah.
That's where conflict comes in because
people see it differently.
Yeah. And especially when the people who see it differently aren't willing to communicate.
And people are uneducated. That's another problem. And I will say, I will honestly cross my heart on this. I have met way more uneducated white people than black people.
Once again, it's a class. Bro, go to for anybody who believes in racism in terms of color deep, go to the Midwest, spend a year there. That's all I want to say. Just see how those communities are ran. Look at them from an intelligence perspective. Look at them from a social perspective. Your mind on what most people consider racism will completely change.
So you're saying that I kind of get what you're saying now. You're saying that the skin deep racism isn't really racism because most of the time it's just from pure ignorance.
Yes.
Okay, now I kind of get what you're saying now.
Like, for example, when most people talk about racism, they're talking about, okay, normally a white person hates a black person because, quote unquote, they're black. But why are the reasons do they hate black people? Because they're black, right? Well, they talk stupid. Oh, they don't know how to read. Oh, they're lazy. Oh, they don't make a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's
that's a lot of dumbass fucking reasons.
Not only is it dumb, but it doesn't only apply to blacks.
No, not at all.
It applies to every minority group, even Asians. Now, for Asians, it's a lot.
Okay, so I'm seeing what you're saying. So if somebody says they don't like somebody because they're lazy, anyone can be lazy. It's not a color thing.
Yes, and that's
not
where
a
the
race thing.
Ignorance come in because they were
they okay. Now I see what you're saying.
It's like a dumbass hillbilly saying I hate black people, and if you ask them why, if you ask them a set of questions, they're going to name all these. They're going to name some of the stuff I just stated, right? But then, as they're saying this, they're saying, "Oh, I hate blacks because they talk funny. I hate blacks because they're stupid." Even though a funny talking dumbass hillbilly is saying
telling you this right now.
That's not racism.
Yeah. Okay, see, now my thing is, I understand where you're coming from. Now my thing is, but technically that skin deep racism, like you said, it still technically exists. It exists because of ignorance.
And if somebody said that to me, like you just said, I would say, yes, that is a better way to put it.
Yeah.
But coming from my perspective, I would just say, technically using that logic, that is racism, but still the underlying perspective or reason for that racism
Is ignorance.
Yes. When the class racism has nothing to do with
Ignorance.
Yes, it has to do with you being in a certain position and you just feeling this type of way, which is racism because you have whatever.
So you're saying, okay, I get what you're saying. You see the class racism as
pure racism.
As more technically, let's just put it this simple terms.
Okay.
As more racist than skin deep racism, because class racism is if somebody's racist, it's more because an actual logical reasoning.
That was beautiful.
Because skin deep racism is just ignorance. So you see it as, like I said, simple. I try to put things in simple terms. You see things as class racism is more racist than skin deep racism, which makes it truer in the sense.
Truer to the definitions
of racism.
Yes.
Okay.
So
in a very technical term, that's how you see racism. It's a very technical.
Yes.
Okay, I get that now.
So technically speaking, using what you said, the skin deep racism is technically still racism.
But it's at a low to you it's at a lower sense of value because it's rooted in just ignorance.
Yes.
Okay. But then when it's class racism, it's more because they understand their positioning, they understand all the facts, and yet they still choose to do so.
Yes, it's pure to the definitions of race and the history of it.
Okay, so you're just more on a technical term. I get it now.
Yeah,
it only took like an hour, but I get it now.
Well, but how many people would have been willing? I know obviously you're not going to do this with strangers, but how many friendships have ended because they weren't willing to just come down to
communication? Just keep digging at it until you get an even ground. Not even even ground, but it's an understanding.
Yeah,
I get that.
Compromise.
Yeah, but what is America's famous for? We said it at the beginning.
My way or the highway.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible, but it's at the same time it's great. But my thing is, like I said, I understand. I have a much better understanding of what you were saying.
After 3 episodes, because we technically touched on this 2 other episodes.
did.
Yeah.
But like I said, I had to explain it in simple terms.
Yeah. And you know me, sometimes, well, I'm a overthinker, and sometimes my mouth does not.
But also, I know the way your brain operates, and I understand why you see it that way. You have always been a more technical person.
Yeah.
Like we both agree on the fact is all lives matter, but some that matter more than others.
Yeah.
We both agree on that.
It's just how we come to that conclusion is different.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I understand why you see things this way, and I understand what you're getting at, and it does make sense. And that's why in the beginning I explained to you how I see it is the bare simple: do Black Lives Matter?
But I understood that because that's how even movies at the end of the day you do you might get specific, but at the end of the day you love it, you like it, it's like you dislike it or you hate it, and it's just
and that's me, that's how I do things.
Yeah.
I'm a simple guy.
Yeah.
As it's just you are a much more technical person than I am, and your entire view of racism is very technical, but I do understand it, and you're not on the wrong side. You of all people, you understand. You grew up in the ghetto.
Well, and by the way, I just want to make this clear. For the most part, I would still have these same views on racism because I'm trying to come to the topic unbiasedly. In terms of
you're trying to bring it, and you're not trying to weigh heavily on one side or the other. You're trying to be right in the middle.
Yes, but at the same time, because of my experiences, it just proved the information and for example, sometimes my personal experience does not always go hand in hand with the end goal, the end conclusion. Like, because I might do some research and just say, well, technically I was just that odd man out and I got in a fucked up situation.
And that's how, and there are exceptions to every case.
Yes,
there is.
But it just happened to be that my personal experience and my life just happened to line up with all the other information I received. So, yes, if you know who I am as a person, you might say I'm being biased because my experience lines up with what my end argument is.
Yeah.
But I'm really not being biased.
You're using your life as a statistic.
Beautiful, yeah. Yeah.
See, bro, I'm very good at putting things into simple terms, bro.
You are.
But I like that's the thing is I understand that, and we will say we both grew up white and poor. It's a very I actually thought it was quite common, but apparently it's not as common as I thought it was.
In what sense?
Growing up white and poor.
Well, at least in Buffalo, it's not common.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Once again, perspective.
Yeah,
because
exactly. But like for instance, me and you and my brother were. And maybe one or two other people were the only white people in our entire school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And technically I was only the second pure white person.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Because Ben.
Yeah, Ben. Yeah. And like I said, me and my brother are both half Spanish. So, yeah. So it's like.
And let's be real. Me, Ben, you, and your brother, I'm not saying we were the poorest because we weren't. But we were.
Oh yeah, we were
poor. As poor as base.
Anyone else there.
We were in the lower percentile.
Absolutely. Yeah, I grew up. I have 4 brothers and sisters, and my mom minimum wage jobs her entire life. Sadly, it is what it is.
Bro, my mom not until I got into college was
single mom. Yeah, single mom for both of us.
Single mom. She never made more than $30K a year.
Yeah, same here. So that's how we grew up. It's just how it is. So that's how we view things. And that's why, like, for instance, like you said with Ben, I never, and what the funny thing is, too, is...
He was the rough side of South Park, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and not only that, if you look at it from our school days, we were mostly all in different groups.
Different groups?
We hung out with different people. We talked to different people.
Once again, showing that it doesn't matter about the skin, dude.
Yeah. To me, it's more like... It's how you grow up. Like, it really is. Because if you're only around white people and, and it's about who raises you. Because if you're only around white people and your parents are like, sadly, because that's how it is, that it does exist. but I grew up around. I grew up in the Mariner homes, bro. Literally, it was. I think we might have been like the only white people there. At least as far my memory isn't the best. Obviously,
And don't
it was a long
forget, this
time
was
ago.
before that area of the West Side was being brought up. Too.
Yeah, this is way before. I grew up in the Mariner homes. My neighbors were black. My across the street lived my aunt who was full Hispanic. Like I grew up playing with kids from Africa, dude. We played soccer all the time. Like it's to me, it's more about your moral views and everything is about how you are raised.
and how much you're willing to learn and accept.
I think that's what it is though too, because when you're a kid, you're learning, you're growing constantly. When you're adult, because you've already been through so much, you're like, well, I've lived my life to this point. I'm gonna keep living it like this.
Yeah.
You're less likely to change.
Yeah.
But when you're a kid and you're learning everything, you're taking in all that information, you learn a lot more when you're a kid, obviously, right?
Yeah,
Because
but
everything's new to you. You're like, okay, I'm taking this
Yeah,
in.
that's true.
I'm taking everything in.
the best time to learn is when you're younger.
Yeah, exactly.
But I will say this too: using the adult argument for not wanting to be better is also just as shitty.
I agree. Yeah, exactly. The thing I just said, where I've lived my entire life this way and I'm going to keep living that way, that's a dumbass argument. So you're not growing as a person. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be better. You think you're perfect.
That
Get
might
the fuck
be
outta here.
that might actually be worse than a kid because at least a kid has an excuse. Because when a kid is a kid, they're just absorbing.
They take in everything. They don't know what's good. They don't. You don't.
They don't
really-
have they don't understand their conscience.
Yeah, they don't. And the thing is, also, is as a kid, you don't understand a lot of the decisions you make. And like even now, I look at things I did as a kid that like now I'm like, well, that was kind of mean. But as a kid, you don't see it that way. You know what I
because
mean?
that was just
That was just the way it is.
yeah.
So it's kind of like it to me. A big part of like where racism comes from is how you're brought up. And
And this is why I go back to most racism now is the underlying ignorance.
yeah,
Because if you
because
don't
that's how they're brought up. They weren't challenged in any type of way. Nothing to change their view.
if you don't have the knowledge and information and you're just told one thing, you don't see it as
But the thing, and that's the thing is you see that more as an ignorance, but I still see that because it's me. To me, I see that is you are still racist, but you're racist because of ignorance. So I get it.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're basically
We're agreeing on the same subjects. We just see them differently.
yeah.
So that's the thing is it's just
And by the way, bro, I'm not saying you're technically wrong because if we're being technical in the most bare form, that's still racism.
exactly that's exactly how I see things in the bare minimum form.
But since I go about
You
it
go-
differently,
Yeah, because you can't. You're the type of person where it's like this isn't enough for me. I need more facts. I need more information. And
It's
I
like,
yeah,
okay,
and
yeah.
that's just the type of person you are.
yeah, you're racist, but you're racist because you're ignorant. Technically, that person has a higher likelihood of not being racist in the future if he's willing to just learn.
Yeah.
But the people who have the knowledge and they're racist because they're arrogant, they're racist for a specific reason, that likelihood of them changing
Is very minimal.
yeah.
I get that now. I get that. I get what you're saying. To me though, like the ignorance, racism, that pisses me off as well though, because
I'm not
like that to me that sometimes pisses me off so much because it's like you not that you don't have the knowledge, you refuse to accept it.
And by the way, that's just as bad as people who have the knowledge and
It's just that's what I'm saying. It's just as prevalent in everyday life. You can go on the phone and you can go on your phone and read stories, read articles, read so much history that has happened, and you can learn and you can choose to be better.
especially now with all the information on the
Yeah,
internet.
and you refuse, and that's why it pisses me off.
By the way, I'm not saying it's any better or it's any worse. It's just a different.
Yeah, it's just a different take.
Yeah.
And to me, they're both bad. Plain and simple. Don't be a fucking racist. Don't be an idiot. Don't be stupid. Treat everybody kindly. You know? So that's why I support Black Lives Matter.
And I respect that, bro.
But I will say, real quick, since we are doing it, another response to Black Lives Matter are Blue Lives Matter. What do you think about that?
Okay, from an unbiased perspective, if you're able to say Black Lives Matter,
I see what you're saying. If you're able to say it, you can say that too. Now, from a
do I
different
believe in
perspective-
it?
Yeah. Do you believe in it? I believe cops' lives do matter. I do. But being a cop is a choice. We all know this. It's not like, oh, I'm going to grow up, I'm stuck being a cop. That's it. No way to go about it. If you don't want to be a cop, don't be a cop.
I understand where you... Okay, first off, I do believe in Blue Lives Matter. Just like I believe in all lives matter from the principle perspective. But unlike Black Lives Matter, I also wholeheartedly believe in the movement because no matter which way you want to put it, the hours, the potential of risk, the pay. I'm not saying these cops should act the way they do in certain situations, but I will say this. Take away them being a cop. Put them in any career. If you're an average worker, let alone you're a good worker, and you're doing your job great, right? I would say that's 98% of cops who aren't corrupt. Because being corrupt is just a completely different story, right?
Yeah.
If I'm on the news or I'm around my neighbors and I know I am doing the best I can and I'm not killing anybody, my family knows that, my coworkers know that, and all I hear is that you're a scumbag, you're a piece of shit, that might, and I've been on record saying, depending on what part of the country I'm in, that will make me say, okay, if the East Side keeps saying that all cops are shit,
Why go over there?
or
Why help them?
or not even that. Okay, normally I'll take 10 minutes to get there. Fuck you, I'm going to take 30.
Yeah, that's what
I'm still doing my job, but another call came in.
Yeah.
And by the way, anybody who says this doesn't happen from a human psychological perspective and from a workforce perspective is full of shit. Because I know every person can say they either personally or they know somebody who bust their ass off for a job to get a promotion, and then the lazy workers somehow got it because...
Oh, yeah, always. There's always somebody.
And if you tell me at least for a day, a shift, you completely go from 100% to 50%, you're full of shit because that's how humans work. That's how we work. And by the way, I'm not saying I would do this for the rest of my career, but I'm saying maybe I would do it for a week. Maybe I'll do it for a month. Maybe I'll do it to the end of the election.
My thing is, and it's once again, it's a very simple way, is if I see a cop and I think he's a good cop, great, he's a good cop. If I see a bad cop, he's a bad cop. He's a bad cop. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I treat it as individual. I don't see it as a whole. Because I can't just say police are bad, because I'll be honest, all the police, I've ran into one shitty cop. One shitty cop.
Out of how many?
And this is honestly, most of my encounters are from being pulled over.
All mines are from being pulled over.
But I've had 2 instances with cops on the ground where no problem. Just normal asking questions. All right, understand, have a good day.
Yeah.
I've had one encounter from being pulled over. I've been pulled over a couple of times where I was turning right on a red light, right? And just so happened where the red light coming from... So this is me.
Yeah.
The cop's coming from this way. It's a red light for me, but I stop and I'm looking. Okay, I'm clear. The cop is coming at an angle. So because the street comes up at an angle. So I look left and I don't see him because it's at an angle. I make my right, and as soon as I make my right, you turn slowly. As soon as I make my right, this cop is right in my back mirror. All I see are his lights, but no siren. So I pull over, and he pulls me over, and his first words were me, "What the fuck's wrong with you?"
Even though you came to a full stop on the red light, right?
Mm-hmm. His first words were, "What the fuck's wrong with you?" I said, "What happened? What did I do?" He said, "I got a call. I was racing to another call and you got in my way. I could have fucking hit you. I could have T-boned you." He's like, "You didn't stop at that light." I said, "Yeah, I did. I looked left and then I looked right." I told him straight up. I said, "I didn't hear your sirens. Your sirens weren't on." I'm like, if you look, I said, "Look at the street. You can literally only see a car because the whole street has parking. You can only see that one car because the entire street's at an angle." I said, "Unless you were right at that red light when I looked at it, I wasn't going to see you." You know what I mean?
What did he say?
And he said, "You could have fucking died. You're lucky. You're lucky." And then he's like, where do you work? I said, right here in the hospital. I'm just going to work. And he goes, let me see your license. So I give him my license. I give him my registration. And he goes, you're fucking lucky I didn't kill you. And I'm not even going to give you a ticket. And I said, okay, cool.
Well, technically, if we're being technically...
Because he said he's some bullshit about getting in his way. There was 2 cop cars, by the way. The first one kept driving. He pulled me over.
Because he wanted to be a dick.
Yeah, and
my
thing is, if the call was that important, why are you worrying about me? I didn't run the red light.
I know.
And like I said, there's no way he could have if I didn't stop or if I did stop, there's no way he could have saw me unless he was parked at the light because he was going like 40 miles an hour, 50 maybe.
His entire argument was bullshit though because everything you said, his arguments are collapsing in on each other.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like literally there was nothing I could have done. I was going to make that red light whether you were there or not. My entire thing is his thing falls apart because he didn't have his sirens on. I think that's why he let me go because he didn't have his sirens on. How was I supposed to know you were coming? That's literally, dude, I have seen so many cop cars almost get into accidents
because there's no
sirens.
Yeah.
Dude, if you're coming down this street with lights on,
that doesn't
there's
mean
a building on the corner.
Yeah.
We can't fucking see you, bro. What are you talking about?
Yeah. But can I be clear about this? Mm-hmm. First off, the way you handled it is how you're supposed to handle a police officer.
To me, and I will say this, even though I grew up white, obviously, I still know that making a bad move during a traffic stop is a very bad thing to do. Because I've been in classes, I did security work, I've been in classes where I've seen videos of officers get shot for a simple traffic pullover, a simple traffic violation. So I can understand a cop being on edge when he pulls somebody over. And I don't want to push him over the edge. So I always, even if I don't agree with it or anything like that, I try to be as clear and as respectful because,
and calm.
Because first of all, I don't want to get shot. Nobody wants to die. Of course not. So and you know what's funny though too is I've been in a car with my cousin who's been completely disrespectful towards a cop, and it still turns out the same way. So to me, I can't. The reason why I can't get behind the movement so much that, like I said, I do believe to me it's more of an individual thing because I don't believe all cops are good and I don't believe all cops are bad.
Well, to be fair though, that's. If we're going to use that perspective, we have to use that perspective for Black Lives Matter. Because if we're being technical, every skin color has a scumbag. And those scumbags don't deserve to be alive.
Yeah, but then that goes by the thing where that goes by the point where if you see that literally goes back to racism where you see them as that color.
No. But what I'm trying to say is we're seeing cops as a color. It doesn't matter if they're black, white, Hispanic, whatever. They're blue.
Yeah, well, that's what people say, yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is if you agree in one type of movement from a perspective of a whole, you can't go from an individual perspective because every group has scumbags.
I can, though, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because they already changed it up. Because you can choose to be a cop. You chose that. That is a lifestyle you physically chose. I was born white. I cannot change that fact. But that is a fact of life. You can at any point decide I want to be a cop or I don't want to be a cop anymore. So that's why the movements to me are completely different. You're looking at it more from a technical point. That's why. Because you're putting those both in the same bracket where Black Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter, right?
Well,
you're looking at them both as the same. So black people, blue lives are cops, right?
Yes.
So you're looking at them as a whole. But to me, like I said, people are born black. People are not born cops.
But once again, you're thinking of race of black as skin color deep. I'm thinking race of black as social economical. Okay. In terms of if we're getting in a serious debate, I wouldn't classify myself as white. I would say I'm black.
I know. You've told me that before.
Yeah. And
then you remember my response to you?
What?
Was that you're white?
Yeah.
Your skin color. It's just the way we see things.
Yeah, but if you take away my skin color and you put my shit on an application for a loan, they're not going to view me as white. They're not going to view me as Asian. They won't even view me as Hispanic. Mm-hmm. They're going to view me as black.
Yeah, because that's how the world works.
Yes. That's why, I'm just so I guess from your perspective, you're right. about why you don't believe in blue lives matter. But from my perspective,
It's not that I don't believe that they don't matter. Because
no, I'm saying the movements.
Yeah.
You don't believe in the movement.
I believe cops' lives do matter, but I also believe a lot of cops are shitty people.
But bro, this comes down to it. People don't want to hear this. Human beings are shitty. It
That's
doesn't
very
matter
true.
if you're a politician, a doctor, a freaking
Yeah,
teacher.
if you look in every field, no matter what it is, there's going to be shitty people because, like you said, humans are shitty. No matter what, you could look at, white people and doctors, white people and butchers. It doesn't matter what profession, skin color, anything. People with long hair versus people with short hair. There's going to be
Fat people versus
you know
skinny
why?
people.
Because in everything I just said, guess what I said? People. People are the shitty things. So that's why I tend to judge it individually.
When somebody gets shot, it doesn't matter their race. You need all the facts. And if that person was shitty, or if he put a cop in a bad situation where there's only two fucking options in
Kill or
that
be
moment,
killed.
then I don't care about your skin color. You're a shitty person, or in a law perspective, the cop had the right to do what he did.
I get that.
And by the way,
Well, for instance, let's just use because it is obviously one of the biggest things, George Floyd.
well, that's what started.
Not what started it, but it was. Do you think that was supposed? I feel like it started. I feel
The
like that's what
riots.
fueled it.
Well, if we're being technical, yes, that's what.
Yeah.
Because it started back in 2016,
Yeah.
if we're being technical.
And I feel like that was a very big point for this. So
Okay.
use him for example.
Okay.
The cop on his neck.
First off, did you ever see the full-blown video?
No, I've never seen. I've seen like a 30-second clip.
Okay. So
My thing is just very simple. My bad. Very simple thing is you put your entire weight on another man's neck is not a good thing. 80 pounds of pressure to your throat will kill you. Did you know that?
yes, I did.
80 pounds.
Because the media made it very known.
I actually knew that before that.
I didn't know it before, though.
I knew that before that because I was watching something on TV, and I think it was like 1,000 Ways to Die. A dude was riding a motorcycle,
Okay.
and he was in like the Amazon or some shit. He was in big bugs, a bug this big. He was going like 60 miles an hour. It smacked him in the throat and it killed him. Something so small killed him because of just the pure pressure of it hitting.
Because of
it
the
was going so
speed.
fast.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, as a cop who's been trained, I say trained, but he was in the force for quite a while, right?
I believe he was the lead of that group.
Yeah, he was in the force for quite a while. By that point, you should know maybe not put your knee on another man's neck. Like, legit, I wouldn't do that for a second because that's just too dangerous. I feel like the only reason he did it is because he knew he would get away with it.
So, okay, well, first off, just
Or he
let
thought
me
he would get away with it.
let me be clear. I do not agree with the
The way he handled the situation.
knee.
Okay.
I do not agree with that, so I'm not condoning that.
Mm-hmm.
So he should be on trial, fair trial for that.
I agree with that.
Okay.
I believe everyone deserves a fair trial.
Okay.
Hands down. I don't think we should just. Well, I shouldn't say that.
No, and I was about to.
I shouldn't say that at all. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
But I do believe, sadly, murder is a very, a lot of the times, most of the time, is a very emotional thing.
And it's a complicated thing.
Exactly. So I believe that there should be a trial to figure out all the reasons as to why it came to be and the right repercussions.
Okay.
But there are certain things which we and you both know really shouldn't be forgiven.
We agree. I agree.
Yeah. Okay. But we can both understand why somebody would murder somebody, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's in human nature.
Exactly. So we understand that. My whole thing is I feel like as a cop who's been on the force that long, he should have known what was going to happen to that man. And it's just a pure simple like I said, I don't really know what I know why he was arrested. I don't really know what happened before everything.
Okay.
And I also agree that sometimes you do have to use not excessive force, but you have to either meet their force equally
Or
or
exceed it.
overpower it.
Yeah.
Because if not, you're not going to win that fight.
Yeah.
and then your life becomes in danger. So then it's a kill or be killed situation.
Yes.
My whole point is once somebody's on the ground, that you can overpower someone fairly easily if they're on the ground.
How many
Unless they're
seconds was it
professional
again, by the way?
trained. What?
What was the total time he was on the neck?
Over 9 minutes.
Oh, yeah, 9 minutes. Okay.
I wouldn't do it for a second, and I'm just a regular person. who
But
did
that's
security
assuming
guard
it
training.
was full pressure, correct?
That's true. But you see the way he's on it. He's not like leaning up against anything. He is straight up on his neck.
But, okay, I just want to say, I'm not disagreeing with you, but devil's advocate, and since we don't 100% know, sometimes things look a certain way, and it's not necessarily true. So it might look, by the way.
No, I get it. Yeah. The picture is only a small part of it. You know,
Yes.
my whole thing is though, like, how much cops? There were like 4 cops there, right? Or something like that.
I from what I know, there was 3, but there
3.
might have been 4.
I know he was a pretty big dude, right?
He was actually a in shape cop. Yes.
No, not the cop. The George Floyd.
Oh no, yeah, he was big.
He was a bigger dude.
6+.
Yeah. So 3. I believe it or not, I've been in security. I know sometimes you can even have little people overpower 3 people.
Oh.
If they're on drugs or
Bro, yeah.
you can see that does happen, right? My whole thing is though, when they're on the floor, a knee to the back is still very effective. A knee to the neck is too much. I know it's too much. A common person should know it's too much.
Yes.
You have a cop who's been on not a rookie cop, a cop who's been there a while.
Veteran.
A veteran put his knee there for that long. I feel like the minute he did that, he was going to know the outcome. And that's why it frustrates me even more, is because he chose to do it. As a cop, he should have known the outcome. If I had done that, I would have known what was coming my way.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Do you believe
to
it was
me-
racism?
No. Honestly, I don't believe it was racism, but that's the problem is it is happening. It's obviously happening to black people. It's happening to white people. It's happening to Mexicans, like we all said. It's happening to a lot of people. But to me, the problem is that that police brutality, it seems, and like I said, this could only be because, like I said, it's more focused now, is it seems like they do a lot better with other races than they do with black people.
Okay, so
But then again, I don't know the whole story. That's my problem.
okay, well, there's 3 things I want to point out. First off, so you personally don't think it was racism, and that's
I don't believe the reason he put his knee on his neck was racism.
Okay, so to say that, I 100% agree with you, and from that perspective, what that situation caused in terms of all the quote unquote protesting,
Okay.
full of shit,
It all falls apart. I see what you're saying.
right?
Yeah.
Second thing, if you see the full video, it's I believe a 2-minute clip with the body cam.
Mm-hmm.
At least the actions they took were 100% not racist actions, no matter which racism you want to use, color, freaking social class, whatever. It was not racism. So that furthermore completely dismantles this media bullshit that's been going on and the reason for these riots. Because yes, it's Bruce brutality, but it's racial police brutality.
That's what I was about to say. It's more depends. It's not. There is police brutality.
Yes,
And
but
sadly, let's be honest here. A lot of police force is white.
it depends on
Depends
the
on
area.
where you're at. Yeah, but and let's be honest. We do know. I would say we do know. I don't want to say that because I don't know. If you have a policeman, obviously holds more power than an average individual. So if you have a policeman who is racist and he holds all that power, and like I said, I don't believe it was racist, but that doesn't mean it wasn't also, right?
If you watch the full video, he was obviously on drugs, and it turns out he was on whatever fucking fentanyl, whatever it was. Secondly, he was being disrespectful to the cops, and he was not listening. And he had a warrant out for his arrest. If you watch the full video, besides the knee on his neck for 9 minutes, which I said previously, he should go to court for that.
Yeah.
If anything, this supposed racist white man handled himself extremely well.
Under the situation.
Yes. And
Well,
by
that's
the
what I'm saying. I don't, like I said, it's not, I personally, I don't believe it was racist. But my point comes to where this white male, I honestly, I don't believe it was racist, but I 100% believe he knew what he was doing. Still, why would you roll the dice?
But bro, if somebody says 3 times before he's on the ground, I can't breathe, and I can't get in your car, your cop vehicle, but he has no problem being in his vehicle, I would assume he's a fucking liar. Like, you're in your car saying, cops, don't take me away, don't take me away. I'm not doing anything wrong. Whenever anybody says I'm not doing anything wrong, how often is it they're snitching on themselves? But you have no problem being in your vehicle, but the moment you get into a cop vehicle, you have a problem? By the way, I don't care if he was fucking purple. I would defend this cop up until that moment.
Yeah. So I get what you're saying. My whole thing is, like you said, I never saw the entire video.
Most people haven't. Most people just saw the 30-second clip.
Yeah, my whole point, though, is, like I said, I don't believe he did it for a racist reason. I don't know the individual. I don't know.
Well, I fucked up by saying I 100% know he didn't do it for racism.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to
know. My point is, though, I definitely know he should have known once he put that knee on that neck that it wasn't going to end well.
I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah, exactly. And he should definitely be tried over that.
I'm not disagreeing either. But what if I told you he didn't die because of the neck thing? He actually died because of the fentanyl. That changes the... See...
Okay, then to me, it would change the reason as to why he died, but it would only also change for that cop. It wouldn't be murder. It'd be like attempted murder, because it doesn't matter. He still had like I said, you're a cop. You should know putting that kind of pressure on somebody's neck is going to kill them.
I think technically now, with all the information, it's going to go down as whatever. It's not murder. It's not attempted murder. It's the one below it. It's involuntary
manslaughter.
Yeah, that's what it's going to go down as. Because bro,
I mean, I can even understand that, but my thing is, people get hit with involuntary manslaughter and still do like 10 years in prison. How much you want to bet he's going to be hit with involuntary manslaughter and maybe do a year or 2?
But it's not because he's white. It's because he's a cop.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's because he's white, but I'm just saying they're still not going to get the justice that they want. That's another problem, is nobody gets the justice that they want.
Well, first off, nobody ever gets the justice they want. But I also want to say, I'm not saying Floyd deserved to die. But anybody who thinks he's a fucking hero, who's making him out to be the saint, you're full of shit or you're ignorant. If you look at his rap sheet, by the way, take away the drugs offenses, because I don't fucking believe in that shit. You just look at...
drug offenses are dumb.
If you just look at what he's done to supposedly other women and the violence he has in his life, and you think he's a good man, and then, by the way, the cops know this information going in, because they have to pull up his record.
They see his record.
So you have a man who has a history. It's like 3 or 4 offenses of violence. And he's lying to you, and he's not listening to you. He's physically going against your will. I'm not saying the knee on the ground was justified, but everything up to that point, include putting him on the ground, is. And by the way, he's fucking human. He made a mistake, which put the individual in a situation to die, but he's not the reason why the individual was dead. Maybe if the individual didn't have a shitload of fentanyl in his body, he might still be alive. I don't know that. I can't say that, but I'm saying everything up until that point, the news has not covered, or they straight up falsified. And that's the problem. All these people, millions of people, are getting on the cops. Why are you not getting on the fucking news for feeding you bullshit? And this is another reason.
And the funny thing is, everyone by now should know that the news feeds you bullshit.
But people still buy into it. And this is why. Why do you still believe in the Democrats? Why do you believe on these people who keep going to the news when you know it's full of shit? So you want to make this person and this woman a president and a vice president of the United States who think you are so dumb, you believe them and you believe what the news is saying. I would be offended.
What was we talking about before?
We're talking about Blue Lives Matter.
I have no idea how we got here. I honestly cannot remember.
I don't know either, because you said
that's okay. My whole point is the person who killed George Floyd should definitely be tried and hopefully convicted. Definitely convicted.
I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah. My like I said, my whole thing with the Blue Lives Matter is just it changes once you it's something you choose to do.
Yeah, but I guess what I've been trying to say is, when a group of people, on majority, on average, 90 90+% of the time are the reason why you are safe, or you're safer than you would be, you need to show respect. The best way to look at it for me, before a certain time period, you used to look at your elders with respect. Now people just look at elders with disrespect. That's the same thing with cops. And by the way, cops are less corrupt now than back then.
I do know that, yeah.
If you think it's bad now with quote unquote corruption and the supposed racism, just go back 20 years to Miami. Mm-hmm. Go back 100 years to Chicago, bro. Mm-hmm. You think, like, people, I really believe people have gotten too soft and too used to the easy life. And I'm not, in a perfect world, yes, none of this shit would exist. But you know what else wouldn't exist in a perfect world? Freaking Jeff Bezos, who's money hungry. People who love cheating on other individuals. Scumbags, rapists, pedophiles. But you know what's never going to happen? We're never going to eliminate them because we're fucking human. Mm-hmm. Humans are fucked up.
Yeah.
There's a reason why we're always at war. There's a reason why there's always slavery. It's not because of these metaphorical or spiritual freaking explanations. It's no. We need labor. What would you rather do? Free labor or paid labor? Oh, that's an easy answer.
Everyone has their own agenda. Everybody wants what's best for them. But the thing is, what's best for you isn't what's best for you. What's best for me isn't what's best for you.
But
that's the thing. If I have to choose, oh man,
you're always gonna pick.
I can take this job, make $20 an hour. Francis is up next on the list, or I can give it to him. I already have a job that pays me $18 an hour, but I want these $2 an hour. Do I give it to Francis, or do I get the extra $2 an hour?
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? Like the sad thing is, and it's like you said, it's just human nature. Is we always look out for number one.
Now, to be fair, there are
exceptions.
I was going to say in the most simplest form, there are 3 types of people. If you want to get more specific, there's technically 5, 6, and there are a very few percent of people, depending on how you want to go about it, less than 5%, where there are just people who are actually sincerely, they don't give a fuck. They're about righteousness and justice.
There are people like that, absolutely.
But remember what I said. There's 5% of those people. That means the other 95% of people, on average, are more in favor of themselves than somebody else. When somebody's more in favor of themselves than somebody else, or they're more in favor of themselves over justice, you know what's going to end up happening? They're always going to put themselves in a better position. And most of the time, to put yourself in a better position,
you got to put somebody else in a worse position.
Yes, even if it might not be just, but your human nature overrides the justice and says, fuck it. And if you do that enough times, then you get into a mentality.
I think the problem is, and we're kind of taking it off racism now, but it's more like you said, you know how you said like people are getting too soft? I believe the problem is everybody wants to be treated equal.
When we're not.
Not only that, because we're not. But not only does everybody want to be treated equal, but they don't want to be like everybody else. So you want to be equal to everybody, but you don't want to be like anybody. You see what I'm saying?
It's going back to how deep you want to get into a situation.
Yeah, I get that. But like I said, people, in our generation, it's all, everyone should be treated equally. Everyone's the same. Everyone's all equal. But then it's, but we're all individuals and we all have our own.
It's hypocritical.
Yeah, it's like you want to have your cake and eat it too. Like we said earlier, is you want both things, but both things contradict each other. You're sitting here asking me to give you both things, and you just can't have it. You just can't. Either everyone's the same or everyone's their own individual and everyone's different. So you want everyone who's different to be treated the same, even though they're all different.
Which in itself is not only a conundrum, but that's the concept of injustice.
Yeah, exactly. I don't get it.
That's a valid point, man.
I don't get it. I don't understand it. And I honestly, I do believe everyone should be treated equally.
But see, this is where everybody should be treated equally in terms of human rights.
Yeah.
In terms of life itself and the outcome and how many individuals you have sex with, how much money you make, that's on you, homie.
I agree.
If you're telling me that I should make as much as Kobe Bryant playing basketball because we're quote-unquote equal from a human right perspective,
yeah, that's bullshit.
You are smoking some hella shit.
Yeah. That's the thing is, and it's money makes the world go round. You know what I mean?
And
There can be no. I will say it. There can be no equality when it comes to money. It's just not going to make any sense.
that's why I love sports, bro. Because at the end of the day, even though over the past 6 months, for whatever reason, sports has been completely loaded with politics.
Yeah.
In the purest form of sports, politics doesn't matter. You know why? Because when you start trying to use this racism shit, you know why the highest paid players in basketball are black? It's not because they're black. It's because they're the superior athlete.
Right.
You know why males make more than females? Because besides gymnastics, they're better.
I look at sport as a pure entertainment thing.
And what's entertainment? What's the point of entertainment?
Kill time. I don't know.
But from when we're in
To enjoy
society,
it, to have fun.
it's to make money. Entertainment has always been about
Well,
money.
the thing is, it kind of depends on how you see that. But that's what I was going into. Was the fact is, sports basically you play sports for one of two reasons. You either enjoy it or you're making money, right?
And most of the time, it's one and the same.
But the thing is, these people, yes, obviously they get paid a lot, but you have to think about how much people enjoy watching them. People pay to watch them in person. It all comes together.
Yeah.
Where do you? That money is not just gonna float into a fucking cloud. They get paid because they put asses in seats. People want to see them play.
Well, this is why I was making the male versus female. The reason why males make more money because more people want to see males play basketball.
That's very true. You can't just, and it's sad, but it's true. You can't just. So, for instance, let's just say, this company. I don't know what you want to call them. What do they call them?
Organization.
This organization owns both a female league and a male league, right?
Let's do soccer, bro. The United States soccer,
Okay.
male versus female.
Male league, they sell out stadiums, they do this, they do that, and sadly, the female league is not even selling half of that, not even selling a quarter of that. So
Yeah.
the whole point is, and I know it sucks, but the point is you're not putting people in those seats.
So you're not going to get the
So
money.
you're not going to get paid. Like, there should be no, oh, well, they're making this much. Well, they put the people in the seats. They're bringing in that money. If you're not bringing in people, where do you want this money to come from? You want it to come from these people, but you didn't help them bring those people into the seats. You know what I mean? So where do you expect your money to come from?
I just want to say that is an excellent point because I said something, males are better than females in sports. Now, to be clear, if you had the female soccer team, national soccer team, face the male soccer team would win.
I can't say for 100% because I've never seen it happen. I remember I'm a person, I can't say for 100%. You never know. There could be a freak accident where half the male team dies. Technically, the female team just won.
But I'm saying in a series, if they play 7 times, the male team is going to win that series. You see, now you're just throwing random shit. Yeah, if half the team dies, of course they're not going to win.
Well, that's my whole point.
But I'm saying in an actual league.
Okay, you're saying where no freak accidents.
Yes.
Straight up just
The
a
best
game.
versus the best.
Males will most likely win because of physical.
Yeah, but at the same time, the female team is more dominant compared to other females. So I want to clarify that statement. Like the women's national team is much better than the male's national team in terms of their competition. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
No.
The soccer team just won the World Cup. They won the World Cup because they're so much better than the other female teams. But if they faced the male team, they would still suck ass.
Okay.
The reason why the male team isn't winning is because the other male soccer teams are just superior.
That better.
Yes.
Okay, I kind of get what you're saying now.
So a lot of people would say, how can you say our male soccer team is better than our female soccer team when our female soccer team just won the World Cup and our male team
It's
never?
just because our females are better than their females.
Yes, but if the females went up against the males are still superior.
My thing is, I can't say for 100% certain. Like, I can say with 99%.
Okay, well, that's still better than...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
My thing is, though, you never know. There might be, because like I said, I don't know. I don't watch any of it. So there might be some fucking female soccer player out there who's fucking ready to break all the parameters and all the rules and just fuck everything over, which would be cool. I mean, yeah, it'd be cool to see. But that's what I'm saying. I don't know that. So I can say with 99% percentile,
Yeah.
sure. But then again, I've seen, one-on-one matches between a female professional and a male professional, and the females won.
Yeah,
but then again, that's one-on-one. It's a whole soccer match. There's too many variables for me. That's why I can't say for certain.
If we lock down the variables, you get the best 12 males versus the best 12 females. All 12 males are beating the females. That's just fact, unless it's gymnastics. But gymnastics isn't about power; it's about flexibility.
I agree with you, but your whole problem was, and so we locked down the variables. Can't lock them down because strategy takes a huge part in it. Coaches. You know what I'm saying? Injuries. There's too many variables to lock down all of them.
But you could say that in any sports. If the male soccer team loses their best, like in any,
yeah, exactly. That's my whole point.
Yeah,
that's
but
why I can never
that's-
say for certain. I have to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but we're speaking on average. We're speaking on average. You get the average man versus the average woman. The average man is whooping the average woman's ass. That's just scientifically fact. Like if everything is, I know you're going to say it's not, but if they have the same IQ, the same quote unquote body build for their sex, it's not even a challenge.
You're taking everything out. You're like clean slate versus clean slate. You know what I mean? You're taking like, okay, the best way for me to describe it,
if they were born and raised in the same exact situation.
Not even like that. To me, it's something else because humans are too much of a variable. You know what I mean? They're way too much of a variable.
But in science, you're technically accounting for the variables. Like you could replicate variables in science. That's the whole point of science.
You can. But I'm just saying, are you really ready to do all that math? You're not trying to do all that math. You're just trying to erase all the variables.
But what I'm trying to say, you could make the same variables for both sexes. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, so my thing is, so you're saying these two people were raised the exact same,
yeah,
given the exact same everything, right? But the problem still becomes the human is the variable. The same thing that happened to me can happen to you, but we see it differently.
I'm not. But if we're talking physical, a physical sport it's more reliant on physical than mental.
Like how far you can throw a ball.
Yes,
then yeah, that makes sense.
But basketball, if you give me the best,
yeah, because someone who could jump higher,
Yes,
yeah,
but if we're talking about gymnastics, the woman has as fair a shot, if not a better, of beating the man, just because gymnastics is based around body movements that favor a woman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like more flexibility and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that. Okay. Yeah.
So all I'm trying to say is, when it comes to soccer, the men get paid more, not only because they're better, but because they bring in the money to go back to your point.
Yeah, I get that. And I agree with that. But I'm still can't fully 100% agree with you about the best males versus the best females. There's too much variables in play.
It's a physical sport, bro. Men run faster. Men are stronger. That all deals with soccer.
But then, you just have to look at the human aspect of it.
But what human aspect?
People. The goalie's having a terrible day. His girlfriend just broke up with him. You see, that's what I'm going to.
But bro, you could say the same thing about the woman. The woman,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Too many variables, bro.
But bro, if it's the same variables, it doesn't fucking matter.
Well, they're different variables. The guy, his wife just broke up with him. The girl, her fiance just proposed. So she's ecstatic. She's in a good mood. She's gonna play better than someone who's in a bad mood.
But men, on average, are less affected by shit like that. See, a woman, she might be in a good mood, but she's gonna be more emotional. That might fuck her up.
It might fuck her up. Might make her better. You see what I'm saying?
But bro, you could do that for anything. You could do this going back to the cops thing. Yes. You don't know the variables, so why the fuck are we talking about the conversation?
Exactly. That's my whole point. My whole point, though, Francis, is that because it's a competition. One has to beat the other, right?
Yes.
Or they can tie. I mean, I guess, sure, whatever.
Well, technically, they can.
Yeah, exactly.
And especially in soccer, there's ties all the time.
Exactly. So in a competition, the variables really, really matter. In life, variables do matter, yes.
That's why I said a series. Yeah. Because anything can happen in one game, but in a series, 99% of the time, the best team wins.
Exactly. You just said it. 99% of the time.
Because I'm factoring in injuries.
Variables.
But bro, just because a team wins because of injuries doesn't make them the better team.
Oh, no, absolutely not. But we weren't talking about who was the better team, were we?
Yes, we were.
I thought you were saying they were going to win.
Because they're better.
The better team doesn't always win, and we both know this.
But I'm not getting. I don't give a fuck about winning because of winning's sake. I'm saying they're winning because they're the better team.
Now, if you see, listen. Now, if you had said,
I didn't. No, bro. I did not say they won just to win. I said they're going to win because they're the better team. Of course, if their best player gets injured, they're going to lose. But that's not because they did not lose because they were the worst team. They lost because of a freak accident. You don't consider freak accidents as a reason why somebody's better or worse.
You see, I agree with you on that. See, now we're digging down. We're getting to it, Francis.
I feel like you just wanted to be a dickhead with that.
No, I'm so serious though. Like the entire time, I thought you were just talking about they would win.
No, I see. Going back to the racism, I'm not saying they're not racist. I was saying the underlying root of why they're racist.
Yeah, I get that. I get it now. But it told you it took us an hour for you to explain that to me.
Which the racist part of the soccer
The
thing?
racist part, the soccer thing, I got a little bit quicker. But the thing is, like I said, when I was talking about 100% variables, because winning is a very different thing than being better.
No,
better people lose all the time.
I know that. I wasn't focused
exactly.
on the winning. I was saying they were winning because they're better, not winning just to win.
Mm-hmm. See, I just thought you'd say, yeah, they're gonna win. Like to me,
Oh, no.
in my head, you're saying you take them. The males are always gonna win.
No,
I
I
was
wasn't.
Like, you know what I'm saying? That's why I was like, that's not always true.
Okay,
There's
that
too
was
many-
just miscommunication.
See,
Then.
I told you just gotta keep talking. I told you I'm stupid sometimes. You gotta explain it to me, man.
I don't know. I feel like I'm terrible at getting my thoughts out.
You are.
But I was clear with that. That was on you. You weren't listening.
No.
I specifically said, "Oh yeah, they're winning because they're better." Because.
But then I went into variables.
Yeah, but of course that's with anything. Freaking a crippled guy can kill another dude if the dude is drunk and passed the fuck out. All he has to do is sit on him.
Exactly.
But that doesn't. That's not the point. That's 1 in a million.
That's all it takes to win a game, baby.
But not on average.
That's why I said 99%. That's why I said 99%. I'm solid. I'm good with a 99%. You give me that 100%, I'm like, nah.
But
bro.
I never said
There's always
100.
a chance.
I was saying 99.
No, when you at one point you did say 100, and that's why I was like, I can't do 100. I can do 99.
I said 100 if all the variables are the same, which in the scientific experiment you can make the variables the same every single time.
Yeah, you control. It's called a controlled environment.
Or a controlled experiment. Yeah.
Well, you control the environment.
But that makes
that
it a
gives
controlled
controlled
experiment.
experiment.
Yes.
The whole experiment's called a controlled experiment.
Yes.
But when you do that, it's called a controlled environment.
Yes, I agree.
Nice to know we agree on things, Francis. Listen, I'm just saying, right? Soccer's a really good sport.
Is it?
I like it.
I
don't watch it, but I like
prefer playing it. I don't like watching it.
I mean, that's how it is for every sport. If there's any weirdo out there who prefers watching instead of playing,
I would rather watch football than play football.
I'd rather not do either. I've played football. It's not fun to me. But if it depends on it depends. Variables.
Perspective.
Variables.
Do you want to hear some information about Dwayne Johnson?
Sure.
Since we're technically still on the mistake part of the topics.
Mistake.
Yeah, corrections.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
In episode 104, I believe.
That was last episode.
Yeah, the last episode, Francis and X got into a debate about how much Dwayne Johnson makes.
I mean, how is that a debate? Shouldn't there be a solid number?
Well, because we didn't have the facts, and I said it was closer to 50 million, and she was saying, no, I think...
For the year?
No, for like on average over the past couple years.
Okay.
And she said, no, I believe it's 60, 70 million.
And you were saying 50?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Quick. I want to join in. Not in this debate, but I like it because it's fun.
Yeah.
Were either one of you close? Did you take up his salaries then, or not his salaries then average them out?
Yeah, I have all of it right there.
Okay, you have all of it, right?
Yeah.
Were either one of you close? I want to know.
Well, technically, I was completely wrong.
Yeah.
So I put in my notes that Francis was completely wrong, and X was technically more right.
Yeah. I assume he's higher on the scale.
Bro, it was ridiculous.
I know, because at one point he made like a lot of money.
I have it in here.
Yeah. I know that because of that one. I mean, it might have been several years, but there was one year where I specifically saw it, and I was like, "Oh, now give me the info."
Okay, so this is strictly over the past 5 years. Dwayne Johnson has earned $397 million from 2016 to 2020.
That sounds about right.
So if you want the math, that is on average $79.4 million per year every year for the past 5 years.
Good for him.
However, over the past 3 years, 2018 to 2020, his average was exactly $100 million.
Yeah, good for him.
Now, specifically, this is the year you're talking about. In 2018, he made a record $124 million, which is hands down the most an actor has ever made in a single year.
I remember that.
And by the way, the second closest is Dwayne Johnson. The following year, or it was this year. It was one of because the past 2 years he made over $90 million.
Good for him.
Each year.
I appreciate The Rock. He's a good dude.
And this is my favorite stat. In fact, he holds 3 of the 4 highest grossing years for an actor in
That sounds
Hollywood
about right.
history.
I believe RDJ is on that list.
Yeah, I believe he has the 3rd all time.
Yeah.
And it was one of the years with the Avengers.
Yeah.
By the way, I just want to say that the most consistent people who are in the top 10 for wealthiest individuals over the past 2 decades.
Are they? Oh, hold on. You mean like actors?
Yes. Or technically actresses, but they don't compare to men.
Yeah, they make a lot less, which sucks.
Yeah.
It depends. To me, honestly, I believe it would be nice in a perfect world, like we always say, where obviously you can't tell when a movie's going to be a hit.
Yeah.
But if a movie becomes a hit, it'd be nice if you could be like, oh, hey, actor who I only paid $100,000 for.
But it's contract.
I know, that's the thing. That's why I said in a perfect world. Hey,
Yeah.
actor, this movie made like $1.5 billion, and I only paid you $100,000. Here's a little money on the side. But the thing is, then you also got to think, well, because that skyrocketed, it's going to give them more advertisement. They can,
And theoretically,
things now.
let's be clear. The reason why a lot of men make the money they do currently is because they got shit pay initially, but they kept appearing in blockbusters, so they were able to have better negotiations in future films.
Yeah.
That's how it always works with franchises and stuff. Shia LaBeouf made $500K the first Transformers, made 1.5 million the second, but then made 10 million the third.
Nice.
Because it's no negotiation power.
Yeah.
If you don't have me, your film isn't going to do as good. And as the
Yeah, because when you like to see the reoccurring.
yeah,
So okay, hit me with that list, but slowly, because I feel like I should know a couple names on there.
by the way, it's in no specific order.
What year is this? Is it this year?
No, I'm saying this is the most common for the past 2 decades.
Oh, like who's been paid the most?
Well, who's the most commonly top 10 paid actors?
Oh, okay. I know RDJ's on that list.
Actually, he's not.
Really?
Yeah.
Over 2 decades.
Over the past 2 decades, the only
Is one, I know one of them. The dude Daniel Craig, is he on that list?
Nope.
Really?
By the way, when I'm saying consistent, the people I'm about to say at least over the past decade, they have averaged 30 to 40 plus million per year over the past decade.
Oh man, I am very interested in this list. I want to guess at least one name.
Bro, I'm shocked you haven't guessed at least 3 of these.
3 of them.
You're
as
going to be so
actors.
pissed off.
Oh, would I? I'm trying to think of people who not are only in big movies, but are in a lot of movies.
The first one, Will Smith.
Oh yeah, it's
Disappointing.
because I haven't seen him in a movie in a minute.
But he still requires those paychecks.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise.
Of course, Mission Impossible. That was going to be my next guess.
He's a big money maker.
That's why that's Daniel Craig, because 007. 007's huge. And because I remember the reason he came back is because they offered him a lot of money.
But that was just one. Like he's not. His only franchise is James Bond.
That's why I can understand why he wasn't on the list.
Yeah.
But I thought maybe that number would bump him up, but it did not.
No, not even close. Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see
He's
that.
consistently making
He makes a lot of movies.
1 year he was the leading actor. He made nearly 70 million. He was the top grossing actor.
Yeah, I remember that year.
Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Just because of
Fast and Furious.
Yep.
Like the only thing he's in.
And then every other movie he's in, he's normally a producer and an actor, so he's getting that double pay, which
Yeah.
is why he's so high up there. Now, the three people for me surprised me, but when you think about it, well,
Makes sense.
the two people, my bad, Jackie Chan and Adam Sandler.
I knew. Yeah. You know what? I feel like I just saw this list, but yes.
Well, all these people I just named, they were on the 2020 top 10 lists. But if you go back 20 years, they
They're
were
still consistently there.
Yeah.
I knew Jackie Chan because he makes a lot of movies, just not for not in U.S. studios anymore.
China.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He makes a crap ton of movies for them still.
Bro, it's the craziest thing. He went from he made a lot of money just doing American films. Like
Oh,
you
yeah,
remember there
absolutely.
was that 5-6 year time period he did nothing but American films.
Yeah, very good ones too.
Yeah. The moment he went back to China, he went from making 20 to 30 million a year to doubling, bro. The past 10 years, he's made at least 35 million, and most of the years it's 45, 50. One year he made over 60, bro.
Yeah. He makes a lot of movies.
And then Adam Sandler, he's always been the 20 million per film, and then he signed 2 Netflix deals.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. I love Adam Sandler, dude.
Bro, I feel
Just
like
classic.
I feel if you don't enjoy Adam Sandler, you're just one of those people, unless you completely don't fuck with his humor because that's how your brain works.
Yeah, it just doesn't hit people.
You just look for the negative stuff in life.
Yeah,
You look
because
to complain.
he's always like the jokes are always on point, yo.
But even though it's a film, it never seems rehearsed. Like when
Yeah, it's very natural flow to a lot of his movies.
I feel the jokes you hear in his films, he came up with in his
Most
mind.
of the time, like on the fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if he didn't, like it was the first, that's how it would have came out if it was natural.
Yeah. I love Adam Sandler, man. And I actually finally saw Uncut Gems.
Okay, I don't care what your preference is, but you have to respect that film, bro.
Oh, absolutely. I loved it. But the thing is, I will say I didn't like it until
The end,
Yep.
it comes together, right?
Yeah.
It all comes together.
Uh-huh. And that's what I told my mom, because she started watching it and she never finished it.
A lot of people are like that.
It felt off. And I'm like, Mom, you have to. I said the same thing because I was watching it, but I was kind of like on it and on my phone at the same time. So I was like, and
Because
then
it's all over the place.
Towards the end, you kind of get more into it.
I would say the middle of the
Yeah.
film.
And then at the end, woo,
How it's based around the game, all the events going around the Boston Celtics game.
it was nuts. And it was really, really good.
Oh, bro, I think from a pure quality perspective, that is his best drama, and you can make the case that's his best film, period.
Absolutely. It's really good.
Yo. And by the way, as a side note, the female in that film, not his wife, but his...
Oh, I know.
I was wondering, why are you not looking at the... Holy shit, and the scenes where they show her...
She got a fat booty.
Bro,
I'll just say it right now.
yo,
She got a fat booty. She got a fat booty.
Oh my god, bro. What the fuck? White women.
I don't think she's pure white.
Bro, I had a...
But you know what? I will say white women have been getting fatter booties.
Bro, I looked her up. I
white?
had a crush on her for a full week.
course you did.
She's full blown white, bro.
Yeah, well, good for her.
And I was actually stalking her on her Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, what you see in that film, that is like she has everything: lips, breast, and ass.
You know the thing is too, and I will say this: we've come to a time in our lives where beautiful booties all around, bro.
Bro,
Like,
there's too much.
I honestly think there's some secret video that shows you how to have a nice ass that everyone shares, all the females share, but not all of them, but a lot of them share it with each other, and we don't know about it because I go back, like, not even like 10 years. I go back like 4 or 5 years, and I've always been a butt guy, you know.
Since
Yeah,
day one.
always. So I look at the butts, and I'm like, okay. And now it's like,
No,
what
but
the fuck?
bro, you know, have you ever looked up those charts of the stock market? How 1980s it's so low, and then it slowly creeps up, and over the past 10 years it's skyrocketed. That's what's going on with booties, bro. Bro, let's be clear.
Them. Good for everybody.
No, but 20 years ago, there was a reason why white women were known for tits. Because a high percentage did not have ass, or they didn't have big/fat ass, what we consider fat ass, right? And then some point around 2009, 2010, something ticked, something
You
happened.
know what it was?
What?
Starbucks. Whatever Starbucks puts in their coffee, bro.
Bro, why do people keep making that joke? You're legit the fifth, sixth person who said that.
That's because it's true.
That's when Starbucks has blown up, bro.
Starbucks.
But yo, you're right. Just compared to 5 years ago, bro, it's every woman, and you can tell majority of the time when a woman has a fake ass.
Absolutely.
Because of the proportion of the ass to the hip and thigh ratio.
And the jiggle.
Yeah. The unnatural jiggle.
Yeah, it something about it just seems off.
It's not.
It just doesn't look right.
Yeah.
I get. Yeah, it seems off.
It's something you really can't.
like it'll jiggle like a normal jiggle, but it won't jiggle right.
It's not the right rhythm.
Yeah, it jiggles at a different speed than the others.
No,
I am so serious.
No, and it's something hard to really explain. You have to see it to know it.
Well, I mean, most of the guys, I'm pretty sure, know what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah. But now it's just like, yo, I swear to God. As an example, 20 years ago, I would say, what do you say? Max 25% of white women had a big ass.
I don't know why you talking to me. I was fucking 5 years old.
Well,
we were 5 years old.
But I was looking at.
He was looking at booty since day one, like you said.
Well, technically, the first ass I was ever obsessed with was when I was 3 in Florida.
I don't remember any of this. I don't know how you got this. I don't remember that far ago. Like,
well, I don't remember that. I only remember in Buffalo stuff.
I don't remember any of it.
Well, I remember there's these two women who lived across the street. I specifically wanted to. I didn't know what fucking was. I was attracted to them because of their asses. And I used to always run around and grab their ass, and they would smack me, and because I was young.
That sounds like something you would do.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. I'm not. Okay, so Uncut Gems. Oh, okay, because Adam Sandler. Yeah.
Off tangent. Always taking us off tangent. Those damn fat booties.
Bro, I'm just
Tangent again.
When I saw that movie, I was just she's a nobody, right? That was only the second film she's ever been in.
I figured. I've never seen her before.
Bro, if you see her Instagram, it's just, oh my God, bro. It's just like, you really have that ass. And you know it's real because her shape of her body and how her thighs and hamstrings form to her ass. I'm sorry, bro. Legit, that entire week after I saw that film, I was beating my meat to her. I couldn't help myself. Like, she was my inspiration.
That's funny.
Bro, you know how...
I know how you get, but you just announce it to the rest of the world.
I've said worse things.
It's true. You have said worse things. They don't need to know your personal business, Francis.
Hey...
Yeah, I'm listening.
I'm not going to say.
Yeah, because it's worse things, huh?
Okay, can I...
Yeah, let's go somewhere else.
Has a single moment popped out to you in the past week?
Chicken patties at like 5 a.m.
Let me explain what I'm talking about. Maybe it might come to you. Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about. I remember a bunch of moments.
Okay, so this moment, yes, I'm reading it written down because I want the specifics, but I still remember it clearly like it happened yesterday. Okay, so let's say I know this woman. It's not sexual, by the way. So it's just...
She's not sexual. Gotcha.
No, this moment is not sexual or passionate. Okay, so I know this woman and she knows me. Let's say we're acquaintances, right?
Acquaintances.
I finally talked to her one day because I'm in the mood of spreading the word about the podcast. So I talked to her about the podcast. Not only did she check it out, but she subscribed.
Okay.
Fast forward recently.
Are you talking about an actual moment in history?
Right now.
Like this happened?
Yeah, this actually happened.
Okay.
I'm not bullshit.
I wasn't sure if we were talking hypotheticals, but now I get it. Okay, keep going.
Fast forward a week, which is a couple days ago. I see her in a hallway, and she gave me this piercing, devilish look. I couldn't tell if she was absolutely disgusted in who she discovered I was compared to who she thought I was.
Okay.
So I'm assuming she watched something about Rhinos and Aliens. So she's giving me about the reason why I'm saying
what is this piercingly devilish look you speak of?
I'm going to get to that.
Hit me with it.
I'm going to get to that.
I want to see your face make this look.
Okay, so I'm going. So the whole point is that I couldn't tell if she was looking at me in this sexual, seductive, staring me down, piercing look, or if it was this devil had taken full control of her body and now she wanted to just kill me piercing look. Do you know the difference? How sexual and evil can look so similar at the same time?
Nope.
Bram Stoker's Dracula, those vampire.
Never watched them.
You never seen it? Where there's a group of female vampires and they're all looking at Keanu Reeves, and you believe at first, oh, they want to seduce me, but it turns out that they're just hungry and they want to suck him dry.
Okay.
So that was basically the look.
Okay.
So the best way to describe it, just imagine a look where somebody is staring you down and you think you're about to get the business, the best sex of your life. But at the same time, it could be taken in the form of,
Maybe she wants to kill me.
yes, but that's where the devil comes in. The devil just took control of her.
What is your point of this conversation, Francis?
Okay,
The devil wanted to kill you or her?
me, because the devil's in her.
Why?
That's how she looked.
No, I'm saying, why did the devil want to kill you?
I don't know. That's how she looked.
Okay.
So you ever, you know those anime shows where they have
Yeah.
the devil and he's giving you that piercing look?
Sure.
That's how her look looked, but it was also seductive.
Okay. Why didn't you go up and ask her?
Because I wasn't on break and I was going to the
So
bathroom.
that's where you were working?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Does she look good?
No comment.
What do you mean? No comment. Francis.
The whole point of this story is that very same day I lost a subscriber. So I don't know who I lost, but
That bitch.
I'm pretty sure it was her.
If it's her, then that bitch. If it's not her, then you are a nice person. Thank you for
So
following my-
to answer my own question, if she was giving me that seductive look or she was giving me that devil evil look, I'm
Okay.
pretty sure it was the latter because she ended up unsubscribing.
Okay.
So that was the point of the story.
So your whole point of the story was to get verification from me
Of what?
of what kind of look it was?
No, I didn't know what look it was until the end of the story.
You wrote the damn story, Francis.
Yeah, the whole point is to not let you know. And then let you know at the end. That's what creates...
Oh, you were just letting me know of a... Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Now I
like
get
I
it.
was letting you know how I was thinking in the moment.
Oh, okay. So you were putting me in that moment.
I was trying to, but
Now
obviously it
makes
didn't
sense.
work.
No, it did.
Oh, okay.
But when I got out of the moment, I didn't understand why I was in the moment.
Oh, that makes more sense. I just pulled you out of the moment without you knowing the moment.
Exactly. I didn't even know we were talking real life in the beginning. Remember?
Yeah, you thought it was a metaphor or something.
Now, question. Let me ask you something.
Okay.
Does she look good?
She has a beautiful...
Oh, damn. You done fucked up. You done fucked up, Francis.
Bro, you don't know. I don't know. I'm being unbiased.
Yeah. Ain't no unbiased yes or no question.
Hey, to me, she might be beautiful. To you, she might
Yeah,
not.
okay, and I'm asking you. That's fucked up.
How is it fucked up? You don't even know how I feel.
No bullshit. I don't know.
What if I said she's a cute as hell Indian?
She has a beautiful. That's how I know.
Bro, no, I was trying to be unbiased.
Okay.
Because a lot of people don't like Indian women.
Why would you not like Indian women? They're beautiful.
I agree.
Like Indian from India?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not native.
I
But
love
natives
it.
are beautiful too.
That's very true.
But there's so many different natives that,
Not everyone's beautiful.
yeah. Like there's so many different natives. I would make the case there's more native types than white types.
What do you mean?
Like all the different tribes, they have unique features.
Oh, absolutely.
Like you go to
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Indian women. So let me ask you again. Does she look good?
Yes, she does.
Okay, cool.
And she has the stereotypical dark, like black hair.
Yeah.
Like that's really shining.
Yeah. I was wondering.
No. Yeah, I was just.
So what's the problem then, Francis?
There is no problem.
Not yet.
Well,
I'm about to make it a problem.
there is a problem because she was looking at me like I'm the devil.
Just go ask her again and say, "Did you unsubscribe? Did you watch the first episode? Was it Jordan? Did he throw you off? He does that.
Yo, bro.
Just gotta let her know.
Yo, you know that first one of the episodes is still like highly viewed. And it's
Great.
old as shit
That's because we were great. We still are great.
with that fucked up audio. The echo audio.
We definitely had that echo audio.
Yeah, you remember that shit, man?
Yeah, it was so fun. Such good times, man. Good times. Good times. How long ago was our first episode?
3.5 years ago.
Fuck.
Bro, you know what hit me with a double whammy? I just realized it's September of 2020. It's about to be 2021. I still can't believe it's 2020.
To me, 2020 is basically a void year. 2020 is, with so many bad things happening, I'm going to erase it from my memory. 2020 is going to go from 2019 to 2021. 2020 is a year where a lot of shit happened, and if we don't get it right by the end of the year, then the entire year is gone for me.
Bro, you know what's crazy? Besides the cruise on the cruise
It's
we
been
had,
almost a whole year.
no, but the thing is, 2019 was a bad year for me personally because of like Home
Everything.
Depot, the no
Everything.
job.
Yeah.
The only bright spot was literally the cruise, and
That was a good one.
it was like, yo. So all I remember from 2019 as a positive, the cruise.
That's what I'm saying. When you look back on years, you really try to only remember. You don't really remember the bad things. You don't want to remember the bad things.
But when you can only remember one thing, that is a bad thing.
Yeah. So then what are you gonna say back when fucking 2020?
Nothing.
Exactly. It's the void year.
Bro, the honestly speaking, the best thing I can say about 2020, I'm working at Tesla. That's the best thing that's happened to me in 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't know.
2020.
I can't, like, you know how normally I could go back to movies? What movies were released in 2020?
Some things, but nothing really great. I think.
No. And I can't see Tenet yet. So if I don't see
What was the
Tenet.
last movie we saw together?
Oh my God.
Was it Star Wars? It was the newest Star Wars where I paid for everybody, then fell asleep.
in January? Good shit, right?
Ah, beautiful. Paid like $60. Worst nap of my life.
Did you ever watch it again?
No. I haven't seen it.
Bro, it's probably better off that way.
I've heard bad things. I never wanted to watch it again.
Bro, it's just, I don't, yo, you know, like when people make fun of Michael Bay films and say, what was he thinking?
Yeah.
When I look at the Rise of Skywalker, whatever it's fucking called, I really look at it and now I understand how some people view Michael Bay.
Yeah.
Because when I think about the narrative, how do you have a room of writers and this is the best you come up with?
Oh, look at me. Let's just focus on the positives of 2020. Right?
Yeah. As you're trying to think about that, I'm going to give a nice, interesting fact.
Hit me with a fact. Factoid.
There have been a record number of guns purchased as of July.
I believe that.
Over 5 million background checks for firearms since April. So from April to
No.
not now, as of July.
Okay.
So over 4 months. Mm-hmm. Yeah, over 4 months, 5 million background checks have been processed. 6 states have seen the largest uptick in terms of a record month over the past full 12 months have been California and Georgia, Illinois, Minnesota, New York, and Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. All 6 states have had at least 25,000 each month. A rise. Like there's been a difference.
Yeah.
4 of those have had a 50,000 difference. And then a couple of them had over 100,000 difference. Mm-hmm. And the month of June was up a record 136% year over year, nearly 2.5 times difference. So
I believe it.
that's well, with everything going on.
People want to protect themselves.
Yeah,
I get it.
I just found that information intriguing. That over a course of 4 months, 5 million background checks have gone through, and 6 of those states, from a month to month basis, have seen such a large jump.
Yeah.
Do you technically have your permit, right?
My what?
Gun permit? You don't? Oh wow!
I was thinking about getting it.
I want to get it just to when I have free time and the ability to spend money on something like bullets. I just want to go to a fire range.
I get it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Do you know what antebellum means, bro?
No. Can't think of the actual definition.
Okay, well, do you know that now it's being equipped to racism and slavery?
I did not.
Yeah, Lady Antebellum, the country group.
Yeah, the music group.
They changed it to Lady A now because there's too much connection to the slavery of the Southern South.
I did not know that. I mean, I knew that they changed it. I didn't know why.
Well, that was the reasoning why. I just wanted to make this statement of what the true definition is and the origin of it.
Why don't you tell me?
Okay, so Lady Antebellum, Antebellum is a Latin phrase meaning before war. Specifically, ante means before, bellum means war.
Yeah.
In America, it means the time period prior to war, furthermore, anything occurring or existing before a particular war. So, for whatever reason, people want to attach it to the Civil War, but
Because it was the biggest war fought. It was what
in America, it was the biggest war, the most lives lost of American soldiers, but technically, it relates to any war in any country.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, I just wanted to.
But it's because we attach it to the Civil War.
Yeah, the why there is race. Once again, if you look deep enough or hard enough, you're going to find whatever in anything.
That's true.
Sexism, racism.
Whatever you want. All the good stuff.
All the. Okay, so. Okay,
Hit me with it. Hit me with
there's a quote I came across, and obviously you disagree, but I don't want to
How do
go
you know I disagree?
just because it relates to something from the past. I just want us to dissect it.
Dissecting the quote.
Black Lives Matter is a hate group. To
Okay.
every white person that was too stupid to see it in the beginning, wake up. To every black person who has had the spine to stand against them from the beginning, keep fighting. She's calling out the white people who are just jumping on the bandwagon. Like all those celebrities who make those videos.
About Black Lives Matter?
Yeah, and you could tell it's fake. You could literally see them reading lines. Like, if you really felt this, why do you have to read lines? It just comes off fake. And then she's talking to the black people who aren't mentioned in the news, who don't believe in what the Democrats are saying and what the Black Lives Matter are saying. Like former black cops, people. There's some rappers, some artists.
All this to me is politics.
Yeah.
That whole quote is basically a politic to me.
I would not disagree.
It's too confusing. To me, the simpler it is, the better it is. If I can't understand it, it means you're trying either one of two things. Either it's too complicated for me to understand, which it isn't, or you're trying to make me confused.
Well, to every white person that was too stupid to see what Black Lives Matter is from the beginning, wake up. So she's not talking about the message, but as I was talking about the group. Like the Democratic group.
You were saying,
the people who are saying, donate us money to help Black Lives Matter, but it's going to the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
And then she's saying to every black person who has had the spine to stand against Black Lives Matter from the beginning, keep fighting. So it's specifically relating to Black Lives Matter, the
as
group.
the group, not the movement.
Yes.
Okay, now I get it. See, I didn't understand that.
But you are correct. This is dealing with politics because she's talking about, because there's two types of Black Lives Matter. It's the people who believe in the message, and it's the group who have political reasons, like
Who
the
have
funds.
further the agenda.
Yeah.
Always.
So she's talking about that, and most of the media is not
So
talking.
why would I agree with that then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My whole thing is, like I said, to me, it was really confusing, but you cleared it up. But my whole point is, like I said, to me, I'm not behind, like, I'm not going to support anyone who says Black Lives Matter. I support the movement because Black lives do matter. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to me, that wasn't about you telling me, oh, Black Lives Matter. You're talking about a certain group who call themselves Black Lives Matter. You know what I mean?
And to be fair, since the quote doesn't have any content, like, yes, she's saying a group, but you don't know, is she talking about the movement itself?
That's why I was confused.
Yeah.
And that's why, like I said, I agree with the quote, because from what you've told me, like I said, I don't read a lot about this shit, but like you said, that they have an agenda that they're trying to fill that isn't about the movement
Itself.
It's about their agenda.
Well, or as you would, I think you would say it more like this: they're using the movement to push their own agenda.
Yeah, and from what you told me, if that's true, then obviously I don't support that. You know, what I support is the pure, unfiltered movement of Black Lives Do Matter. That's why I can support that if what you're telling me is true, which I believe you because I know you do your fucking research.
Well, and specifically, that's what she was
That's what specifically what she was pertaining to.
Yeah.
So I can understand that, and I can agree with that.
And bro, it also comes down to the thing too. Any reasonable person would not say they disagree with Black Lives Mattering.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel that's where all the confusion comes in. People normally, the non-ignorant people who say they disagree with Black Lives Matter, they're not talking about the message, the purpose. They're talking about the groups that have been formed to take advantage of it.
See, that's the thing though. Unless you clarify, I don't know.
And most people, that's the problem. Most people.
And my thing is, like I said, most people commonly should say, yes, Black Lives Matter, but they just don't.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, like I said, it's about a voice right now, and they want to be heard. So, of course, I will stand behind that. But even
But going back to what you said, supposedly everybody is equal, yet when certain people talk, they don't want to listen.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying. We live in a conundrum. The whole world is a fucking conundrum. The universe is a conundrum. So don't worry about it. But Black Lives Matter. Let's go.
Okay. Random piece of information. How much do you think we know about the human brain?
Almost nothing.
Okay. Oh, so you were right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so scientifically speaking, we as the human society, scientists believe that we only know no more than 20%.
Oh, see, I was going to put us at around maybe 10.
You didn't let me finish. No more than 20, and it could be as low as 10% of the human brain.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about that, and you already think about all the stuff we know about the human brain, that is just mind-boggling.
My thing is it's very simple when you think of it. Just to me, how I think of it is, okay, we have our certain thought process and everything like that, but what moves us to do so?
Whoa, you remember the old quote, we only use 10% of our brain?
Yeah.
People misquote that quote. When people hear that quote, they say, oh, we only literally use 10% of our brain. Mm-hmm. That's not true. We obviously use every part of our brain.
Yeah,
But the quote is saying we only use 10% of the potential of our brain.
Yeah.
Meaning that even we don't know how to access the full capacity of our brain. Because we have so many neurons, technically speaking, we should be a lot smarter than we are.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of the quote.
That's my whole thing is like I said, where does it all come from? Like,
yeah.
To me, it's like you realize that we have atoms, right? We discovered atoms and what they do and how small they are. That means those are technically we are made up of atoms.
Yeah, everything is.
So all the moving pieces of our entire body, right? The brain flows through. Well, everything basically goes through, right?
No,
your brain controls
the nervous system.
It controls everything.
Yeah.
So to think we actually understand it would be absolutely ridiculous.
Well, the easiest thing you have to know to discover we don't understand it, if you actually look up all the mental diseases, there's not a concrete reason of why.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, that's exactly my whole point is like what moves us to do so.
Yeah.
People who have schizophrenia, who have bipolar disorder, how? Why? What happened?
They
what
have
factors?
theories.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's all it
Cannot
is.
be proven.
Yeah.
Because you know why? Because they don't know.
Yo, the best way I was thinking about it, let's say pick any sentence, pick any equation, and then take out 80% of it. What does that mean to you? Are you going to understand what?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I told you, almost nothing. I knew that. I just knew it because I understand it.
Well, I'm not surprised because you actually have your head on your shoulders. You got some common sense.
It's true.
Okay, we're going to watch this one video with Katie Ledecky.
Who's that?
She's a swimmer.
No clue.
She's
a professional swimmer.
Yeah, she's considered the Michael Phelps.
So an Olympic swimmer.
Yeah, for the females.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Are we watching a video of her?
Yeah. I just want to see how you feel about. Look up the video of Katie Ledecky swimming with chocolate milk, and if you want to think that you are a shitty athletic human being, this will make you feel like that. It
does, because how does she even keep the cup there? Like just standing still, I can't do it.
Let alone not dropping anything, bro. Like, yeah, it's somewhat shaking, but nothing leaves the cup. I can't even begin to process how difficult this is.
You know what's funny is we might see it as difficult, and she sees it as like one of the easiest things.
Well, supposedly she was doing that since she was a kid.
That's probably what made her great.
Oh, she's
Muscle memory.
She's the Michael Jordan of her sport.
Yeah.
When I say the best way to describe, you know swimming, right? Like when you break a record for swimming, it's not easy.
Oh, not at all. Yeah.
So if you break a record by 1 second, that is considered huge.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
She
In almost any sport.
yes.
Yeah.
But she, during the most recent Olympics, bro, every race she participated in, she broke the record by at least, I believe it was 2 seconds. And most of the records, she was breaking by 5, 8, 6 full seconds.
Yeah. That's huge.
And I'm not surprised looking at that freaking. That's a whole 50 feet, I believe. Is that the
was
length?
pretty far.
It's either 50
meters?
feet or 50 meters.
Yeah. It'd make more sense if it was 50 meters.
Yeah, 50 feet ain't long.
No.
She swam 50 meters with a full glass of chocolate milk.
Good for her. That's why she's great.
Oh, okay. Honestly speaking, bro, if you had that physical talent, what would you do? Like, honestly, like if you either basketball, football.
Do what I was meant to do.
So you would.
If I had I also believe that certain sports you don't have to be 100% like physical. You know what I mean?
Oh hell no! Like
Yeah.
basketball and
That's what I'm
football is
saying.
very mental.
Yeah. To me, like even in the shape that I am, if I practice enough and I got down enough, I could still be a great shooter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In basketball.
Yeah.
Because shooting's more about rhythm and flow
Repetition.
And, yeah, exactly.
Form.
Exactly. So I can still be great at that no matter what. But there are some things like swimming. I believe there are just natural born.
Oh, well,
swimmers.
track and field.
Yeah.
You can't become like yeah, you could train, but if you were only born to run a 100-meter in 12 seconds,
you can't really break that.
No.
It's not like you're suddenly going to be 9 seconds in.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. But if it's your first time running and you suddenly run in like 11 seconds, that's pretty impressive.
oh hell yeah, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Well, my thing is, I remember reading something where it was like, I was watching a video where it's like sports records that were broken, but the reason they're broken is because technology advances.
Like, can you give one example?
Yes. For example, like the fastest baseball ever thrown, stuff like that.
Or the fastest mile? 'Cause
Yeah.
There's new track shoes and running shoes
Yeah,
that,
exactly. Because technology advances further, people are able to do it better.
but they're not technically superior athletes.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Because if you looked at the fastest, like, I don't remember exactly,
Well-
but let's just take a hypothetical example.
Well, somebody broke the 2-hour marathon record. Like for the first time ever, somebody broke the
Well, damn.
2-hour marathon threshold.
Yeah.
And he was wearing supposedly the most advanced sneakers ever made.
Mm-hmm.
And these sneakers supposedly reduce the recoil or reduce the damage, like reduce the impact
on his like ankles and feet and everything like that.
but increase the recoil, giving you more bounce.
That makes sense.
The more bounce you have, the further you could go.
Yeah.
Why Simon?
I'm using less of your energy.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, like you said, it doesn't mean that and that's why the whole thing was, even though they're breaking records, technically would old school athletes be better than new school athletes if they had the right equipment?
Yeah.
So like there was a baseball player, for example, because
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly, like say he threw, I think like top speed was like 98 miles an hour, right? Which
Yeah.
is still very fast.
Yeah.
But that was like 100 years ago, right? So now you have people who can throw like 108. Like I think the
Yeah.
highest I seen was like 107 or 18.
Yeah.
And that's a whole 10 miles per hour faster. You know what I mean?
Which 10 miles, ride a bike 10 miles and see.
Exactly. So the whole thing was if he had the
Same
newer
baseball.
shoes, yeah,
The different mounts.
not only different mounts, different grip because it's made by different. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's not all regulated, and not only that, but it's also the balls are made out of different materials. You know what I mean? Like there's too many variables.
Yeah.
But they had it where like if the variables were all the same, it's estimated that the person who was throwing 98 could throw like 115.
Yo,
But then there's a human limit on certain things. But you know what I mean? You'll never know. But that's the thing that sucks is how cool would that be?
well, it's the same problem with sports that keep track of stats like basketball and football. Yes, like as example, football quarterbacks now are throwing twice as many yards per season compared to 50 years ago. But does that still count if 50 years ago they only passed 40% of the time and now they're passing 80% of the time?
Yeah, then the numbers, of course, are going to double.
Are these quarterbacks actually better passers or are they just a product of the system?
Yeah. Yeah. That's why you can't really tell.
I know it's not quite the
You have
same
to
as
take
you
everything into account, though. No, I get it because, like you said, like back then, if half my plays I'm throwing and half I'm running, but now I'm running on only 20% of my plays.
Yeah.
That's a 30% increase.
So that
meaning that
means-
if I threw 1,000 miles, right, or
Yeah.
1,000 miles, 1,000 yards,
Now
and
it's 1,300.
Now it's 1,300 because I threw 30% more.
Yeah.
So 1,000 back then is equivalent to 1,300 now. So I get it. Yeah, I get it.
It just sports are weird like that. That's why
When they change with the time.
but that's why when people talk about the goats, they really hate when they compare errors because it's really hard to go off of equipment, to go off the play style.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you can only
My thing is too is another thing is teammates. Like I know you can go to statistics, you can go straight down to statistics.
That's why I hate team sports, bro.
Because you can't tell how great someone is, especially you can't tell exactly how great somebody is if they
Yeah.
play with a team. Because one person could be gone from that team and mess up the entire flow.
Chemistry. Yeah. And that's why a lot of the time it's much easier to make the GOAT debates in boxing, MMA, or tennis because at the end of the day,
It's single.
It's on you.
1v1.
yeah.
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 Mike
But
Tyson. Listen, I just want to go and point this out. You watch the clips of my man's when he was younger. He is an absolute monster.
bro, I still stand by this. If his original coach never died, the guy who got him the championship, who trained him, I still think he would have never lost.
Yeah.
Because if you watch his early fights and you watch like fights from 15 years later, he became a worse boxer in terms of technique and style. He wasn't as polished.
Yeah.
Because when he was younger, bro, he was literally an animal.
Yeah, dude, you see him fight, he's so compact. Like
But he doesn't fuck around, bro. He goes at you.
yeah,
Like,
that's the thing. He's smart about it. But the thing is, he keeps all of his hits in. Like he keeps everything close. He moves so fast, and he gets in close where you don't have a chance.
Well-
and the only way to beat him is to out brute force him, and you weren't doing it.
or the only way to beat Mike Tyson is that you had to fuck with him in terms of you had to keep moving around. Because
Yeah.
if you try to
If
go
he got you cornered, you were done.
and if you try to go toe to toe with him, you were done.
Exactly.
Bro, I always looked at Mike Tyson as a fucking agile tank, bro. He's going to come straight at you. He's going to give you all the power shots immediately, and he's not going to stop until
Yeah.
you're destroyed.
Fucking love it. That's the type of boxer I would love to be.
Bro, I still stand by Mike Tyson from a pure athletic perspective was the best heavyweight fighter of all time.
Yeah, I agree.
He's not the greatest because he doesn't have the records, but in terms of pure freaking brute force and like in his prime, God,
Yeah, I know. I see the videos, and I'll literally just watch them from time to time because they're just like, you're like, holy shit.
But bro, this is the crazy part. Think about this. He only boxed before he was champion for like 10 years.
Yeah,
And he was only training with his coach who got him to be the champ for it was like 6-7 years. Can you imagine if he had that same guy because he ended up dying because he was older? If he had him his entire career,
yeah,
look how much he learned in 5 years. People don't realize in order to be a great boxer, you have to start when you're a child.
yeah. I couldn't pick it up now. It's impossible.
No, because of the rhythm, the speed of this.
You have to because you learn best when you're a child. You have to absorb everything.
Well, that's why they say if you want to learn multiple languages,
Start them young.
It's the easiest when they're young. And I just read 2 different articles saying that 90+% of the time, if you learn a second language after age 18, you are going to learn the second language with the accent of your first.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can see that.
But if you're a kid, you could technically learn 2-3 languages and have the accents of each language.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yo, it's fascinating how the mind works. Once again, going back to only knowing 10%.
Oh man, I love Mike Tyson.
Okay, I want to talk to you about the origin of masks,
The origin of what?
face masks,
Face mask.
or at least one origin, and then the Asian giant hornet, or is being penned in America as the murder hornet.
Murder she wrote. Murder she wrote. Ooh, ooh.
Okay, so between 1918 and 1990, masks, just like now, stoked political division. Then, as now, medical authorities urge people to wear them to help slow the spread of disease.
That's correct.
Then, as now, some people resisted. Masks were called muzzles, germ shields, and dirt traps.
Okay.
That gave people, back then, the mask gave people pig-like snouts. So it was shaped to where you looked like a pig.
Yeah, because the masks were, yeah.
Some snipped holes in their masks to smoke cigars. Others fastened them to dogs in mockery. Bandits used them to rob banks, which, by the way, I'm surprised there haven't been more.
I agree.
Yeah. Just not banks, but robberies.
No, just everyone looks shady now. Unless you're wearing a medical mask, your ass looks shady.
Yo, especially the bandana ones?
Yeah, the all black bandana. I'm like, this dude about to fucking rob me right here. Nah, he's just minding his own business. I had one dude. I was in 7-Eleven. White dude. He was maybe like 20. He might have been a bit younger than me, like 21, 22. And he came up riding on a bike.
Yeah.
With a long ass white T-shirt, and he had a red bandana like covering. And I'm like, bro, we about to get robbed.
Yes, we're stereotyping right now.
Bro, my thing is it's not even the bandana. It's just the fact is,
No, the look.
usually if somebody covers their face, it's because they're trying to hide something.
Yo, you know what's funny though? You know, technically, at least in New York State, it's illegal to wear face masks unless they're the medical kind. Any type of, you're not supposed to cover your face.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
Because it's some shady shit.
Well, for robbery reasons.
yeah, it's for shady
For
shit.
identification.
Yeah, exactly. So I always wear the medical one. I never put on a different one.
I'll wear a Joker one.
Of course you do.
Yeah. You're going to make me wear a mask in Target. Everybody's going to see this. And, most people are creeped out, too.
Well, I believe it.
I'm okay with that.
Well, mother
I had one person who came up to me and said, yo, where do you get that mask? I told him. He was like, yo, thank you. There were calls to protest like this one in California. The first U.S. cases of... I remember. The reason why this was happening, because 1918, 1919, the...
Spanish flu.
Yep.
I know my history, bro.
Yep. The 1918 influenza pandemic came in March. By fall, 7 cities, including San Francisco, Seattle, Oakland, Sacramento, Denver, Indianapolis, and Pasadena, California, had mandatory mask laws. Mm-hmm. So not that very different compared to
100 years later, 102 years later.
Yeah, but as you pointed out the previous time you were on, the Spanish flu, much more deadly.
Mm-hmm. Well, remember, like as 100 years, we've made so many advancements in the medical field.
Yeah, but are people not dying because of the medical field, or are people not dying because it's just not as deadly as the Spanish flu?
Could be either or. But I'm just saying.
True. We don't know 100%. Yeah.
But we also know the medical field wasn't that great back then.
I don't know. The 1900s is when because you remember the medical field had basically a revolution in the late 1800s.
Was it the late 18s?
Yeah.
I feel like it was like the mid 50s, but I might be wrong on that.
No, like the first once they discovered cocaine and once they started doing actual surgeries, it was the late 1800s.
Oh.
Yeah, it's called there's a TV show about it. It's The Nick or something.
No clue.
Okay. You didn't watch Project Power or?
I did. That was it.
Was it good?
It was really good. Yeah,
okay. I love Joseph Gordon.
Have you seen it?
No.
You should watch it. You'd like it.
I don't have a Netflix account.
You'd like it. MGK's in it.
Dude, he's in every Netflix. That's what his 4th, 5th Netflix film.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. You would like it. You would definitely like it.
He was the fire guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Salamander or whatever the fuck they called him.
Okay, so San Francisco was at the forefront, becoming known as the mask city. Complaints mounted about masks shortly after the first order was passed. By the way, even after the flu killed an estimated 200,000 Americans in October of 2018 alone. So let's be clear. In the past
2018 or 1918? You said 2018.
Oh, my bad.
1918. Okay, just want to make sure. I'm like, damn. We lost that much people 2 years ago? Okay, go ahead.
Good correction. Over 6 months, we at max have lost 200,000 people.
If you believe the numbers.
If you believe the numbers. Back then, in 1 month, we lost 200,000
I
people.
think the Spanish influenza
Killed millions.
Millions. I want to say around
Was it 2 or 3?
I want to say, yeah.
Yeah. So just to put in perspective, when people compare this to
How long did the Spanish influenza last, though? It was from like 1918
to 1919.
Oh, it was only 1 year.
No, it was like a year and a half.
Oh, I thought it was like 3 years, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, at least in
probably wrong if you
America.
got the statistics. Yeah, there we go.
Because I know Spain, that's
Yeah.
where the...
Yeah, it probably went throughout the entire world. I'm probably
Yeah.
thinking that's probably what I read. Like throughout the entire world.
It was 3 years.
Something like that.
Well, that makes sense because South America is just now getting cases for corona.
It spreads slowly, but it'll get there.
The penalty for violators in San Francisco was $5 to $10, which back in 1918,
How much
bro,
does that equivalent to now? A lot.
at least tenfold, at least,
Yeah.
or 10 days of imprisonment. By the end of
Give me the 10 days, baby. I can't afford that $5.
yo, back then $10 was probably what, half a month, a full month of pay. Mm-hmm. By the end of 1918, the flu's death toll reached at least 245,000, mostly in the last 4 months, according to government statistics. So basically, it started in September, it skyrocketed in October, and then came back down to earth November and December. But opposition to masks continued. The Anti-Mask League, which has seen renewed interest today, held its first meeting in January of 1919. Masks turned into political symbols. This article said that's where a lot of inspiration for masks with gangs came about. They were cutting holes in masks. They were putting it on animals as representation, and that proliferated.
There you go.
Yes.
I knew you had it in you.
Yeah.
What was your whole point, though, in mentioning this?
Oh, the whole point is that the famous saying, know your history so history doesn't repeat.
History has repeated itself 102 years later.
Yeah. Quite literally. Well, technically speaking, 101, because this happened at the end of 2018. I mean,
enough. Well,
end
no.
of 1918.
Yeah.
And for us, it happened at the end of 2019.
Honestly, I don't care about wearing masks. Really doesn't bother me that much. I just know that when I'm out and about,
Yeah.
like if I'm walking and I'm outside, say, for instance, me and Adrian are walking
I get into this.
and somebody tells me to put on a mask, I tell them to go fuck themselves. Bro, if I'm not all up on you, why am I wearing a mask? The 6 feet social distancing
It's for indoors.
For indoors, combined with the mask, just for that extra safety. When you're outside, if you can avoid being within 6 feet of people, I shouldn't have to wear a mask.
But yo, bro, there's been, depending on which scientists you want to believe, that you don't need to wear a mask even within 3, like it's like even less outside. You only need to wear a mask in terms of spitting, coughing.
Yeah, like if I sneeze or spit or cough. Yeah, but you know what I do when I do that? Into my arm like a normal person, because that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're taught when you're a kid.
But the air is one of the best things for this supposed COVID. Like in terms of not having to worry about spreading it airborne.
Yeah, it doesn't really live long airborne.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yo, bro, if you go to Delaware Park, it's just, I've gotten used to it, but you just want to just hit your head and just say, dude, I've seen so many people, they're literally running by themselves. And whenever they get close to anybody, they're at least 5 feet apart. Mm-hmm. They're wearing a mask.
Fuck that.
They're on bikes.
Wearing a mask.
Wearing a mask. Bro, I would say at least 10% of people. And the craziest part is that I don't know what's weirder. The people who are wearing a mask and they're around their own people.
People you see every day?
Yeah. You could tell this person is the mother, this is the daughter. You could tell these are two homies because they're just talking and
I think they just wear a mask because they're like, well, I don't want anyone to, I don't want to get in trouble or anything like that. But my thing is, I'm not going to wear, if I'm, like when I said, I'm next to Adrian. Obviously, I'm not next to Adrian 24/7, but we see each other a fucking lot. So I probably see him once, maybe twice a week, right?
Yeah.
So if he would have had it, we would have had it by now. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
So if I'm with him and we're social distancing from everybody else, doesn't matter. But guess what? When I go inside of a building, yeah, I'll put on a mask out of everyone, just to make everyone else happy.
Well, the only reason why I wear masks in buildings that aren't required It's just so nobody says so
Yeah, so you don't have to deal with it.
yeah. But when I'm outside, bro, I don't give a
Yeah,
fuck. I'm not
when I'm
wearing
outside,
a mask.
you can't tell me shit. There's no law that says I have to wear a mask outside.
And normally the people who talk shit are the ones who are literally not around anybody, and they're trying to start trouble.
They just sit there all day waiting for somebody to not wear a mask.
Like, bro, don't you have a life?
Don't wear a mask. Yo, go fuck yourself, dude.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's just it comes down to I feel people either want to complain or life has gotten too easy for them, so they're looking for something to complain about.
Probably both. It's just annoying, yo. Like I said, I don't even mind wearing the mask. It doesn't bother me. But if I'm outside, first of all,
I want to breathe fresh air.
yeah, I love, like, that's the thing, is like I can't fucking sit. I'll get nauseous in my own fucking mask because it's just you're just breathing in that fucking your own breath.
Not only the own breath, but let's say somehow you don't breathe out your own breath. Like you're just breathing in, like let's say somehow in a perfect world, the air you're breathing in just does not smell the same.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't feel the same.
Dude, I swear to God, I get nauseous. I legit get nauseous. I need that fresh air.
Bro, when I'm at work, I have to go to the bathroom sometimes because I'm sick of the mask.
I did that all the work all the time when I was at work. I would just for like if I was alone for a solid minute, I would put the mask at least right here so I can at least breathe out my fucking nose, dude. Because I can't do it.
I do, especially because you're wearing the N something.
No, I'm not wearing those.
Which
I
one?
only have to wear those if I going to like a.
You're wearing the
floor.
blue ones?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I can wear the N95s, but fuck that.
dude, the N95s are worse than the blue ones, bro.
Yeah, they're so hard to breathe in. But I mean, that's why they're there. But I'm not gonna do it.
Well, the first week back at Tesla, that's what I was wearing because that's what I still had from the other job. And bro, I'm like, yo, I can't do this.
That one's rough. That one's super rough, dude.
And I'm doing physical labor at that, so I'm bending over, I'm squatting, I'm lifting up rails and shit. I mean, it's not physical like home improvement.
Yeah, but it's something
for 12 hours
and
too.
to not get the proper amount of oxygen.
And bro, I'm one of those full breathers where I try to take a couple seconds for each breath. So when I'm sucking in this fucking shitty ass air for 3 straight seconds, and then don't forget, for 3 seconds I'm breathing in, so for 3 seconds I'm breathing out, and now I'm just feeling all that heat.
Yeah, it's bad. That's why I said I'm not gonna do it outside. Nope. I will do it inside buildings, and that is the courtesy I've given you. You're welcome.
Okay, so do you know what a murder hornet is?
Yeah, the fucking murder hornets, the big old hornets.
Yeah, they're roughly 4 to 5 times the size of a regular bee.
Yeah, and their stings hurt like hell.
Yeah, well, along with potentially displacing small native mammals that would typically live in the spots that these hornets tend to
Gather.
That's a good one. If left to populate these areas, the murder hornets could devastate the critical honeybee population, obviously, because that's one of their prey. But including to that, from the summer to early fall, these hornets go through a slaughter phase against beehives and
Nest. Or
any
hive.
nest or hive. They're going after that, but they specifically target honeybees because they're the easiest prey. As they're going through these hives, they're killing the adults, eating the larvae, and the pupa. In a matter of hours, the hive can be completely destroyed. So, for whatever reason, I thought about Ants, the DreamWorks film.
Okay.
The loss of the bees could prove to be detrimental. The state estimated that 1/3 of the food supply depends on insect pollination.
Oh yeah.
And bees conduct the majority of that work. So basically, we have until the end of September, the beginning of October, before new queens are, from what the article said, are born or start to lay new nests. So if we do not eradicate all the murder hornets in America, we're going to have a serious problem on our hands, supposedly.
Noise. I think we'll be okay.
I don't know. It's one of those things, if you don't actually know about it, you don't think of it.
Yeah.
But then again, if certain fruits aren't becoming available at supermarkets, I personally going to think, is it the weather or... Yo, fruit is a life source, bro. It's supposedly better for you than vegetables
I believe it.
in terms of how quickly it digests and processes.
Tastes better.
Yeah, sweeter. Natural sugar. Yo, did you know Okay, so fructose corn syrup is obviously bad for you because it's processed. Did you know actual corn syrup is actually good for you? Because it's a natural sugar that can be broken down by your body?
Nope.
Okay.
I did not know that.
No, I didn't know that either. So this entire time I've been avoiding foods that had corn syrup. It's
But
just,
regular corn syrup,
Yeah.
natural corn syrup is good for you.
yeah. So
Look at you. So many new things to try now.
I know. Well, it's not new things, but it's old things that I cut off that I can now slowly put back.
Integrate back in.
Yeah.
Like what? Name one thing. I know you have one thing in mind.
Well, it's more so, it's like packaged food that is technically healthy, but I was just avoiding it because it's
The
like,
fructose corn syrup. Or just corn syrup, right?
yeah.
Just corn syrup.
So like a lot of nature bars have corn syrup in it because that's just a easy form of sugar. It's technically cheaper than sugar, but it's still a form of sugar. But I was associating it with fructose corn syrup. I'm like, fuck. And I really like this brand, like Nature Valley or something. And it's just a good snack to have. Yeah,
I'm now hungry. So thank you.
I'm now hungry. I was getting hungry as I was thinking about it. So you're not the only one. The reason why I wanted to bring this up because over the past couple of months I've gotten so heavy into fruits and stuff. Like I'm eating 2 or 3 different types of fruit a day, and I'm just thinking, holy shit, bro, that would suck, dude.
But not having all those fruits?
Yeah, especially because technically, what has it been the past 10 years? We've supposedly had a honeybee problem,
Oh, yeah.
and with these hornets, the freaking prey is honeybees. Are honeybees. The last thing I want to talk about, have you ever thought one day, damn, we were so close. So close to this fucking nightmare being over. This unforgiving existence coming to an end.
Are you talking about life?
You could take it however you want. I'm talking about life.
Yeah, I know. I get it. I get it. I definitely get it. And now you've reached the stage, Francis. Welcome. I've been there for years, bruh.
You've been there for years in terms of literally like whenever something potentially could happen, you're like, damn, I wish it did. And that's
No, not so much I wish it did. If it did, it did.
okay.
At first, you're like, oh, man, just missed out.
Okay.
After a while, you just go, well, if it happens, it happens.
Okay, so
I could walk outside, get hit by a bus. That's all right by me.
okay, so basically
Get stung by a murder hornet. That's the way to go then.
okay, so basically I just now hit the first step, right?
Okay.
They're like, "Oh man, why didn't it?"
Yeah.
And now I'm getting into this stage of if it happens like, hey, it is what it is, right? Mm-hmm. The point is for I would say the past couple years I've been in this stage of flirting with death. Like let's say I'm suicidal, right? I've been flirting with suicide, but I haven't had the balls to go through with it.
Okay.
Now I'm in this stage of, oh, now I have the balls. I'm just waiting for the right time.
There's never going to be a right time.
Well, there is. There's waiting for, I want to do it this way. I don't have the money to do it this way, so I'm going to get the money, blah, 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 that type of thing.
Well, I always said if I had to kill myself, it'd be jumping out in an airplane with no parachute.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So, okay, using that as an example, right?
Okay.
So I'm still so up until this moment, I was in I want to cut myself, but I don't have the balls to do it. Now I'm going to cut myself, all right?
Okay.
So I came across this moment when I was reading an article about a meteor. Well, I have it right here. In terms of the world coming so close to ending, like when an asteroid just misses hitting Earth. Roughly a month ago, a car-sized asteroid flew roughly 1,900 miles near Earth, which is technically the closest asteroid has
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like
I saw it on either Facebook or the news or something.
yeah, it was
Probably wasn't the news, but
5 or 6 weeks ago. This is at least the closest asteroid has come since we've been recording, because obviously it approached from the direction of the sun. It was going 7.7 miles per second, or that's the equivalent of 27,000 miles per hour. Mm-hmm. Due to the size, it was roughly a small car or cab pickup truck. It would not have done any damage since the asteroid most likely would have exploded in the atmosphere.
Yep.
Creating a fireball and unleashing an airburst equivalent to detonating a couple dozen kilotons of TNT, which that is the equivalent of a World War II atomic bomb, which was dropped in Japan. But with that being said, Even though it would have occurred 2+ miles above ground, which is the equivalent of being no louder than daily traffic. Depending how close it would have been to a city's, it could have completely wiped out any glass within a 10-mile radius or something like that. The point is, as I was reading this article, that's when the statement I made, damn, we're so close. And I remember because in that moment, I had to put it down in my notes. That's exactly what I thought. Damn, we're so close to this fucking nightmare being over.
But eventually,
Yeah.
you wake up, right?
Oh, so this is literally the Matrix. We're in the Matrix and we're just waiting
mean,
for
it could be.
for the.
That's the whole point, Francis. Why do you think I've made it this far? Curiosity. I'm 100% serious. And there's too many things that I want to do. I can't do it if I'm dead. This is whack.
Oh wait, so you were being like you were serious like half of the reason why you're so.
I mean, I've never like thought like, oh, I should kill myself. But I've always, forever, I've been thinking, it doesn't really matter. Like to me, it's not that I don't even have the balls to kill myself. It's just I don't see the point in it. It wouldn't help anybody.
And there's no guarantee life would be better.
Exactly. So what's the point? So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do what I want to do. Right? I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna go to Iceland. I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy a truck. Like I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Enjoy life in the moment while you can.
Yeah.
Go to Paris, go to South Africa,
Maybe go to Italy.
Yeah.
Meet a nice female in Italy. You can go have a date in the Colosseum. Do what you want, Francis.
Yeah.
That's the best part of living. Do what you want.
That's those.
As long as I'm not hurting anybody, I'm not making anyone's life miserable by doing what I want, then I'm okay with it.
Yeah, but that's the big thing with you. As long as I'm doing something that is not affecting anybody else.
Yeah, I'm going to do what I want. It's just how it is.
Yeah, I respect that thought about it, though. The whole...
If you died, who would be better off? Nobody, bruh.
Yeah.
People get stuck with your bills.
I was about to say, in that sense, that's the bitch way out.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, if you have nobody, then if you die, you're not hurting
That's
anyone.
when curiosity comes into play. I love it.
In what sense?
In what sense? Well, what's going to happen tomorrow? I'll never know. That's boring. You're trying to put it in terms for you to understand. If I gave you a movie and then halfway through the movie I ripped it out the DVD, the only copy, and I broke it in half, you'd never know the ending. You'd never know what was coming up next.
But that wouldn't be curiosity. That would piss me off.
Exactly. Doesn't it piss you off that you don't know what's coming next?
Yeah.
All right, then. So let that be the better part of you.
That was.
But I told you, I'm gonna give you the rest of it.
That was,
I'm gonna give you every day. I'm gonna give you another 5 minutes of the movie. You'd keep waiting till you got to the end, right?
That is a perfect metaphor
For you, especially. I know you love your movies. I made that one just for you.
Yeah, for me that was a perfect metaphor.
Yeah.
But the use of the metaphor was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I respect that.
Yeah. See, curiosity. Yeah, you just.
So you
I enjoy it.
You
I
completely
love it.
disagree with the saying curiosity.
Curiosity killed the cat.
Yeah.
I mean, it might have, but cats got 9 lives. They'll be okay. Listen, you could tell me whatever you want to tell me. I can make it. I can.
Well, technically, that's life. You should be able to spin everything around.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I'm over the point. Life is miserable. We all know life is miserable. And not for everybody, but for me, sure. For you, sure. But life is a bitch, no matter who you are.
Well, nobody has a life where they don't have a shit moment.
Exactly. And my thing is like, well, I know for a fact that I cannot predict the future, right? Maybe tomorrow I'll suddenly buy a lottery ticket and I'll win the lottery. You never know. You know why you don't know? Because you can't predict tomorrow. The only thing you can do is live till tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's how I always see it. That's why I can't make plans 5 years into the future. It's almost impossible for me.
Now, to be fair with this whole asteroid thing, I wanted to discuss it because I found it fascinating, just in terms of the closest one. And then at the same time, I wasn't 100% serious when I said that.
I get it.
But it's just one of those thoughts that come across your mind that's like, huh, I'm surprised I thought of that?
You know why you thought of that?
Because life is shit.
There you go. But it depends on it. Honestly, it just depends on how you work with what you got.
Oh yeah, and to be fair, I was reading that article when I was taking my one lunch for the week at a
It
certain
all
job,
depends on how you feeling, man.
and my mindset obviously wasn't happy.
Nah. So you read that and you were like, man, fuck this shit.
I could have had
We all
an
have those moments, bro.
I could have had an easy way out. You
I
know?
was having one of those moments earlier. I was playing the game, bro. I said, fuck everything. I'm so serious. I was like, man, fuck, I don't give a shit. I don't fuck this. Fuck this. Fuck. I got cheated, bro, in this one clip. I'll tell you about it later.
Okay.
But anyways, we all have those moments where, you just say fuck everything. But I mean,
Well, it's the same thing.
it's the same thing. It's just a moment.
And it's the same thing too. Everybody has those moments of depression. It doesn't mean it's clinical. It's just
That's life.
yeah.
If you have never felt depressed once, you are not living, my friend.
Well, at the same time, the whole argument, if you only feel or only experience one thing, you never truly know the greatness of it because you haven't experienced
The other half.
It's the whole yin yang thing.
Yeah, I know. Can't have one without having the other. That's what I'm saying. That is another. See, I believe, Francis, in karma, right? Not like, I mean, yeah, in the grand sense of the word, but the simple terms is life is gonna no matter what life hands me, right? If life hands me the worst thing that's ever been handed to anybody, I believe eventually it'll have to even out.
If you live long enough to.
You see what I'm saying? So right now I might be on the back end of the stick, but eventually it has to even out. And if it doesn't, then I just live my whole life and it never evened out. It is what it is.
You're just unlucky.
Yeah.
No, I don't believe in karma in terms of the basic sense, but I believe in karma in terms of this world is so unpredictable and it's so crazy that if you live long enough, something bad is eventually going to happen and something good is eventually going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just which luck of the draw are you on? Are you going to get more of the
That's why I don't believe when someone says, "Oh, I don't believe in luck." If you don't believe in luck, you're high on something. You could say coincidences, but coincidences are just it's luck that you just don't want to admit.
I would have to.
You can say this. Think about it. If you change the word coincidence with luck in any sentence, it almost always still makes sense.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out why somebody would, because I feel like that person would say, "Oh, you could will anything you want into your existence," which is just not. Well, I think luck is just like determination or fate in terms of it's yin yang. You need some luck, good or bad, to counteract the quote unquote you're controlling your life.
Yeah, I get it.
Because you can't get to where you want to with nothing but will. You need some, like for example, be it sports, be it entertainment, music, film. You need some luck to get you into the spot you were in. Or you need some luck when you're in the spot to get the right role, the right position. And then it's up to you to
make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see what you said, right?
No, that's
you need luck.
no, but that's what I'm saying. The yin yang thing.
Yeah.
You can't 100% get everywhere you want by just like for example, if 100% of the time you have a shitty situation, you're not going to be able to get to the best situation just by yourself. You need some breaks.
Yeah. You know what I think it is? I think people who've have bad luck, they say coincidence, and people who have good luck say, "Oh, I'm lucky." You get it?
Because of perspective.
Exactly. But to me, they're basically both the same thing.
Another way to state that with coming from an unbiased perspective, Murphy's Law.
If it will go wrong, it will go wrong. If it will go wrong, it will go wrong.
That's the negative perspective. Murphy's Law was actually created for a positive perspective, but it turned into a negative connotation.
I like the way this person thinks.
Yeah. Technically speaking, Murphy's Law is anything that can happen
Will happen.
Will happen. And it's supposed to be the yin yang of balance between positive and negative.
Yeah. So if a negative thing can happen, it'll happen, but also a positive thing can happen.
Yeah, it's just for whatever reason, due to entertainment and the people who used the term, it got applied to negative connotations. and the definition end up changing to anything bad. Anything bad that can happen will happen.
Yeah.
And that's not the true definition.
Beautiful.
No, it's just going back to the yin yang and the whole balance.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay, one last thing. I just want
Last thing. You said that one last thing ago, but I appreciate it. Keep going.
you. What?
I've never seen a Joe Rogan podcast.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen clips, but I've never sat there and watched the whole one.
I used to keep up to date until he started putting out 3 to 5 episodes a week, and his podcasts are at least 2 hours, and sometimes they go as long as 5. So you could see how, for time reasons, I fell behind.
I get it.
Okay, so over the past month, Conscience has been talking about gold diggers a lot.
Who?
Conscience.
What's that?
Coming from Francis's perspective, I came across a woman who is not a gold digger, at least in
What?
in this.
Why'd you make it sound like that's such a big thing?
What?
Just to contradict, I actually came across somebody who didn't want my money.
I don't know her, though.
I feel like it'd be harder to find a gold digger than to not find a gold digger.
A lot of women are gold diggers, bro.
Wow, that's a very grand generalization, but okay.
I'm being serious. The best gold diggers are actually the ones who make you think they're not gold diggers.
Yeah.
Bro, bro,
But I'm a gold digger. I want a sugar mama.
I do too, though. Fuck. Yo, bro, honestly speaking, if all I had to do was be there for a woman, mentally or physically, and let's say I got $1,000 a week.
So 50,000 a year,
Yeah.
tax free.
Would you not do that? Huh? Would you?
I like how you're so confused now. Would I? I don't know, Francis.
Okay, getting back to my statement.
I'm listening.
Christine.
I would, by the way. You need the money, Francis.
Bro, $50K untaxed? That's over $60K gross pay, bro. And you're getting pussy in the process? Now, if she's fat and ugly, that might change the
Yo, that's
equation.
fucked up. Now you make it. See, now you putting stipends on it, and that's not the Rhinos and Aliens way.
When has fat women ever been the Rhinos and Aliens way?
Ah, bro, that's messed up. There are some beautiful women out there.
Hey, what did I say? I said fat and ugly.
Yeah.
I never said fat women weren't beautiful. A lot of fat women are actually beautiful. They just need to get the inspiration to lose some pounds. And by the way, you know me. When I'm speaking about fat, it's a health issue. Now, when it comes to sex, that's a different story. But okay, so interesting fact. You know Christina Ricci?
I know the name.
Casper, the 2 live action Adam's Family Values.
Who does she play?
Christina Ricci,
Who does she play in Adams?
the little girl.
Got Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah.
It's Wednesday. Okay, who
Yeah.
does she play in Adams Family? Is what I was asking. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, the point is when she was, during that time period, she had a massive crush on a handsome and funny guy who wasn't famous or rich. She has such a crush, she sent this individual who worked on these films Christmas gifts for 3 straight years.
Okay.
So,
What was the point in the information you just gave me, bruh? What is the point in telling me that information which you've gathered? And then again, how did you come across said information?
it was just, I went into a nosedive of Christina Ricci, came across a comment, and then did some research, and it...
Why were you doing a nosedive into Christina Ricci?
Because I saw a couple films, and I'm like, wow, I really like
What
her.
film did you see?
The 2 Addams Family and Casper.
Okay.
I rewatched Casper, and I'm like, wow, I really love this film. And then I watched the 2 Addams Family films. The first one is not that bad. The sequel is awesome.
That's
Adams-
the one where we're at camp?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a good one.
Yeah, that one's hilarious.
I love the Adam Family movies.
No,
They're on Netflix right now.
Oh, they are? That's dope. I watched them. They were on Amazon Prime a couple months ago.
Yeah, they're good. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
But the point is, even as a young girl or young woman,
Okay.
she knew what she wanted, and it wasn't money. So, congratulations, Christina Ricci. I'm proud of you.
You may be proud of her, but I'm disappointed in you, Francis.
I know you would. That's why it was the last topic.
Why did you? You could have erased the entire topic.
But
There's
it's
no point in it even being here, bruh. So your whole point was Christina Ricci, when she was like 12, wasn't a fucking gold digger? Is that your whole fucking point?
yes, because you'd be surprised that the mentality of gold digging starts off at a young age.
Oh my god.
And bro, this is a
What do you mean?
well, like you said, it's the young ones who learn bad habits.
I did not say that. I said young people learn things quicker. They are the most impressionable. I never once said the young ones learn bad habits. You go through 4 hours of video and you will not find that. I said young people are the best learners because they take in all that information.
Well, what do you say? They're the most impressionable.
Yeah, I just said that, yeah.
So that means if she's 12, 13 and she still hasn't picked up being a gold digger, it's much less likely she's going to become a gold digger. This is Hollywood we're talking about.
So you read this story. You read this story and you're like, damn, Christina Ricci. I'm so proud that when you were 12, you didn't want people's money.
Yes.
When you were 12, what did you want?
I wanted to work for Warner Brothers,
Uh-huh.
and I wanted to be with the love of my life.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's natural at 12 not to be thinking, oh, man, I'm going to find me a guy. He got all the money.
But I still don't want a woman with money. And I still want to meet the love of my life. But because of experience, I now know I'm most likely not going to meet the love of my life.
That's whack.
So I don't think about that. What's so funny?
That was a depressing ass statement. You said, because of life experience, I know I'm not going to meet the woman, the love of my life. So I don't think about that.
I was being serious.
I know you. That's why it's so funny.
Good
So I don't think about that.
times. I have nothing else to say. Do you want to talk about anything else?
Yeah, I do.
What?
Stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Seriously?
Sure.
Or you just
What do
being
you want to talk about?
you just being a dick?
Yeah. What do you want to talk about? We talk about video games. What's coming out? What came out?
Bro, honestly, I haven't.
Haven't touched it?
Yeah, the past 4 months because I was working 45 plus hours at the one job, and now I'm at Tesla. And just my weeks off, I've been tired. Oh, tell me about the one story, and then we could.
What story?
You said something about Apex that pissed you off.
I don't remember.
It made you want to say "fuck your life."
Oh, yeah. I just lost.
Oh, that was it.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. The game is bullshit. Let's not worry about it. Like you and your love life, I try not to think about it.
Yo, that's a low jab, bro. Even
That
for
shit
you.
was funny, bro. That shit. It was mainly funny because the confidence in which you exuded when you said it.
So
You
it's
said-
how I said it.
Yeah, you said, I'm never going to meet the love of my life. So I don't think about it. And you just smiled at me like, I don't think about it.
I smiled.
And I appreciate it because that's what I do.
Yo, but that is something you used to say all the time when we went to the movies.
What?
Like we would talk about some fucked up situation, and then by the end of the story, you would just say, "Yeah, it is what it is. I don't think about it."
Yeah. Listen, I don't think about things that I personally cannot change.
Yo, that's been my mantra for the past couple months lately.
There you
The for whatever reasons, I watched the film. You know how all my shit comes from movies and television. I came across something, and somebody said it is what it is, and the way my life was going in the moment, it's just like
I've been saying that for a while, man. It was me.
I know you have.
Yeah.
But I
But
get
that moment hit you.
yeah, and it's just
Welcome to the club. It is what it is.
because yo, bro. At the end of the day, you could prepare, you could, like you said, plan all you want. But if life just does not want to agree with you on that day or that situation, you have two routes. You could just continue to think about it and let it completely fuck you over, and you become this depressed individual, or you could just say, okay, I'm going to take the higher road and just keep going with the flow. I'm going to make the best I can.
There you go.
And you know me, that's a big thing because for however long you've known me, I'm the person who used to always think about what if. I used to always be in my
What could have been.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would just I would make the situation worse by overthinking it and overcomplicating it. And just now,
A lot of people do. I know because I used to be the same person, bro. I used to go hours and hours about thinking about a decision, and then the worst of all, I wouldn't even make the decision.
bro, that's the thing. The wasted time you go through just thinking about it.
What I do is I go with my gut, stick to my decision. And if it's wrong, you just sit there and you go, so fuck, I was wrong.
And you learn from it.
Yeah. You just got to be willing to embrace that nervousness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you get nervous, you get anxious. You're like, what if I make the wrong decision? Then you make the wrong decision, man. Everybody makes wrong decisions every day.
Yeah. And over time, you get more used to it. So then it goes from you thinking about the wrong decision to where you're just like, yeah, I'm going to live with the decision.
Yeah, made a decision. It's wrong. Time to find the right one.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Okay, ladies.
It's already about to be 5:30 in the morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, rhinos and aliens, boys and girls, we want to thank you for joining us for the 105th episode of the Rhinos and Aliens show, which, by the way,
Pretty long.
it is officially, hands down, twice as long as any other episode we've ever done. So,
What about that Avengers episode? Remember we made that Avengers episode?
yo,
Wasn't that like 2.5 hours long, or was that only 2?
it was only 2, and after editing it, it went down to an hour and a half.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, bro, the longest
nice,
video
nice.
that's ever happened was 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
We were so close to breaking that record.
Okay, so we're going to finish with the 5 rhino finger thrust. So the first...
I'm out, bro.
So
The
the
5-finger thrust?
5-finger rhino thrust.
You know that's just a fist.
Yeah.
Okay, hit me with him.
That's why it's called...
me with it, bro.
Wait, but bro, that's why it's called the 5-finger rhino thrust. Because you have to have a fist to thrust.
No, you don't. Thrust like that.
But who thrusts like that?
Professional karate users?
They don't thrust, they chop.
That's just racist. Why would you assume they chop?
Okay, so the first...
Karate's known for the nuka taper, the knife hand. It's a knife thrust.
Is that really karate, though?
It's martial arts. I'm pretty sure it's karate.
Are you sure? Okay,
I read a lot of manga. Let's find out.
okay, so look that up. As he's looking that up, we're doing the 5-finger rhino thrust. The first one is that we want you to like the video or dislike the video, depending on how you thought about the video. The second thing is we want you to subscribe. Please, we're trying to get to 200. But to be fair, if you are still listening, then you most likely are already subscribed or you're going to subscribe because I don't know many people who are listening to us for 4 hours. The third thing is hit the bell so you could get our notifications from when we post videos to when we do anything like that. We've been premiering all our videos, so you will get that notification so you can listen right on the spot,
Right
live.
on the spot. Live.
The fourth thing is that we want you to share to everybody, share it to your parents, your grandparents, your children, and all of the animals in the family. And the fifth thing is where you just have to thrust all the way through, comment. We talked about a lot of stuff. The first 2 hours were very political, but the last 2 hours were very spontaneous and random. LLPH and Cadoodle.
Just a friendly reminder, guys. Hit the subscribe button in this corner. And then for the newest video. Then for the most recommended. And then for our famous dick pic.